Hello, and you're listening to You Still Going On About That with Rob Israel and Joseph K. You could find us anywhere you could download podcasts. Like, comment, and subscribe. You could also follow us on our Instagram at YSGoat, Facebook at YSGoat, and at Twitter, YSGoat. Thank you. I'm Rob Israel.
I'm Joseph K.
And you still going on about
that?
Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
That's right, we're doing it.
Peak Star Wars.
Peak Star Wars. It's the middle. It's the fifth one. Now, you might have watched our bonus episode talking about Episode 9 trailer.
Coming up, yes.
And if you've been listening to us, you'll realize that we've been discussing every Star Wars movie.
Right.
So we did Episode 1, the good one.
The good one.
Episode 2,
the
better one.
Right.
Episode 3, the masterpiece.
Well, yeah, we did the first
Episode 4, complete fucking trash.
Sure,
Episode 5, hot garbage. Episode 6,
I think you have this all backwards.
Bantha. Wait, no, was it Panther?
Well, we've done...
you think I'm getting it backwards?
I think you're getting it backwards.
Oh, crap.
We've done 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're doing 5 tonight.
Right.
And we've also done Rogue One, as we call it, Rogue Done. And
that was like one of our first episodes.
Yes, and we did... what else did we do? We did Solo.
Well, that was... I swore we talked about it at the same time as Rogue One. Rogue Done.
Oh, maybe
I don't think we ever actually did a solo.
Right. Yeah, I think you're right.
Solo episode.
I think we combined those two. You're right. So we've covered quite a bit of Star Wars.
And we'll always talk about Star Wars. Because there's something wrong with this.
Well, yeah, clearly. Although, honestly, like at the end of it, we'll probably have more hours recorded talking about Star Wars than there is
actual Star Wars
content.
Content.
Star Wars.
Well, unless you count the Clone Wars series.
True.
The Rebel series.
True.
Star Wars Christmas Special.
Deleted scenes.
Ewoks, the two movies. Ewoks cartoon, Droids cartoon.
Right. Ewok 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Ewok 2, Waka Waka.
Yeah. Oh, you know what I meant to say before we even started is Paul Rudd was on Conan the other night.
Did he do
he did his
the Mac and Me thing?
Yeah,
I gotta watch it. Every time they do it too, just to set up, it just gets funnier and funnier.
Yeah, they said that this joke has been going on for like 14 or 15 years. And it just doesn't get old.
And obviously the whole thing's a put on.
Oh,
you know what's going to happen.
Right.
Did they do anything? I'll just watch it.
Yeah, watch.
You guys watch it.
I watched a clip of it on YouTube.
And they always show like the Mac and Me alien like sticking his head out of the woods. Like,
and then the bike is...
Yeah.
Well, we talked about that on some episode. I forget which one, but we... who knows? Yeah,
it just comes out. We're not, who knows? We might talk about Mac and Me in this episode.
Right.
We might bring up Alf.
Yeah. Well, yeah. All right.
This we do our podcast. We don't rehearse these things.
No.
It's like jazz.
Yeah. Don't let the
hot steaming jazz.
Right. Don't let the Gilmore Girls like pacing of our dialogue fool you. This is it's freestyle.
This is complete freestyle, and I can't stay on the subject.
Right.
Sometimes Joseph has to have a little electric shock collar. He hits the button and it gets me back into talking. Because I will start talking about something else, like I'm doing right now.
Right.
Before we get into Empire Strikes Back, you have something to tell me?
Yes. We hit number 116 in the U.S.
And what?
Reviews. Apple Podcasts.
116?
Yes. It was...
listen, I mean, like, I know some people, like, the Ben Shapiro's in the world and the other people that enjoy high numbers. And we're not being given any think tank money from billionaires or anything. So
exactly.
We can't bloat our numbers.
The Koch brothers. I mean, the Koch brothers.
The Koch brothers.
They have not asked for my Venmo information.
They don't want us propping up anything.
Yeah. Well, look.
But 116, I say, for me and you talking in your kitchen about movies and other things. And we're at 116 in the United States.
In the U.S.
Everyone and their mother and their grandmother and their great-grandmother has a fucking podcast.
Oh, yeah.
And we have one, too.
We do.
And we're at 116. Yeah. We're coming after you guys.
Exactly.
We're going to be a podcast con or whatever they call it.
Well, look, I mean, like, I
Watch out,
remember
Logan Paul.
oh fuck! When we
Alex
first,
Jones.
When we first started doing podcasts, relatively quickly, and we lit it up in the Czech Republic.
Yeah, where are we now?
We're the number 3. I can't believe it.
What are we? But what are we? Okay, we're number 3.
Yes.
In the Czech Republic, and that's all podcasts, right? That's not like just film.
No, we're routinely like in the no. Look, that's one day, and
but still in the Czech Republic.
It's crazy.
Why? What is before and after us? Do you need? Is there like actual names that you could read?
I didn't look recently, but the number 1 podcast, the one we were always trailing, was a podcast devoted to the HBO series Chernobyl, which you can imagine is of great interest to anyone in Central Europe.
Right. They're more concerns over it than anyone else.
Right.
It definitely has a more of an effect.
Yes. So I should go and look what we're
now they wake up every day and they're like, why do I have 6 toes?
Yeah.
And they go, oh, I know. Chernobyl. Let me listen to a podcast about my 6 toes.
Well, for look, it's not at all uncommon for us to be the number 1 film podcast in the Czech Republic.
Right.
I mean, that
category.
Right. But we're always.
Why? Who? Did you pay a bunch of bots?
No. But here's my theory, and it is my actual
tapped into the heart and culture.
No, but I told
zeitgeist of the.
I don't know, but I gotta think that it's just a weird quirk of sampling because I'll bet you Apple devices are less popular there than in America or other places, so most people.
So the 4 people have an Apple phone there.
Yeah, look, if there's only 20 iPhones in the country,
then we're going to be number 3.
We're going to light it up. If we get the right 15 people.
Oh man, you just bummed me out. I thought there was millions of people in the Czech listening to us. Like,
I think,
Papa, Mama,
play us more of Rob and Joseph's play.
Why is goat?
Might I have a bedtime story?
Will we win another goat? No, son. They don't ever actually give you.
There's no goat. There's no.
They have lied to us. I don't know how. I apologize to everybody in the Czech Republic, and I think after this,
we will plummet
to
12.
Yeah.
Well, so look, I think some of it's a quirk of sampling. I think some of it's like we're legitimately big there for some weird reason, but we've also done well in Vietnam and Australia and France and Russia and Israel.
You ever
and
watch
a few other places.
Always Sunny?
Oh yeah.
When Frank has always at first it's like he makes it sound like he had a tour of duty in Vietnam.
Yeah.
But it's just he had some scummy business.
Right.
Yeah, I just think of that when you say that. Like we have scummy business dealings or something.
Well, there's probably some quirks, but. Look, if Apple does one thing well, it's the American podcast charts. That's like a legitimate gold standard for podcast popularity. And for a long, long time, we couldn't break the top 200.
Right. Well, we were. Yeah. I mean, when you told me we were in the 700s,
yes,
I was blown away by that.
We were.
And then he told me we were like 500.
Yep.
I was like, what? Yeah. And then he said we were like 200s, and I But then he told me 116, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I mean, we're. Maybe one day we'll get in double digits.
Could be. Look, that's the goal. Is obviously you want to be in the top 100. But
take that, Siskel and Ebert.
For a long time, we were a little over 200, 212, 213, 226, something like that. And look, that was awesome and amazing. But I always wanted if we could break 200, and we did. So
we did. Now we have no choice. Well, we broke. Now we're 116.
Yeah,
guys, we got to get to 115.
Right.
114.
Yep.
113.
Yeah.
And then I expect a huge jump to 73.
Yes.
And then we gotta get to 50.
Yeah.
These are marching orders, guys. Tell everybody in the Czech Republic.
Yeah.
Tell everybody in the Ukraine.
Right.
Kosovo.
And I think that I am probably
Istanbul.
Yeah. Maybe we could do
does that exist anymore? Or is that Constantinople?
Yeah. Istanbul was Constantinople.
But
that's nobody's business with the Turks. I think it's Istanbul is the country in Turkey. And when the Catholics...
let's not go into that. I was just making sneaking in that
they
song.
Might be Giants.
Yeah, they might be Giants.
Well, yeah, look, I'd love to be in the top 100. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, listen, we're humble people.
Yeah.
We're just two dudes in a kitchen.
Yep.
Talking about movies and some other things.
Yeah. I put my pants on one leg at a time, just like anyone else.
Yeah.
Except after I put my pants on, I record top 200 podcasts. So
yeah, you motherfuckers in the 300s. We in 116 for one day.
Right. Yes. No, we did go to like 150 the day after. But I mean, those charts fluctuate.
Disaster.
So,
well, we're going to start getting some sponsorship.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, clearly there must be a Czech restaurant that wants to sponsor us.
Well, as you'll see, we'll probably get like lineups. Like you'll listen to the whole episode, and they'll be like, okay, well, we can advertise like Czech schnitzel food and OCD drugs or something like that.
Yeah, I just can't stay on the actual subject.
Yeah, something like Restore, when you just can't shut the fuck up. When you just can't.
Was that Bart Simpson focusing?
Focusing, yeah.
Yeah, this episode brought to you by Focusing.
Yeah.
Clearly, we haven't been taking it. Yeah.
Right. Yes. So,
all right. Well, that's cool. Let's get on to the movie.
There we go. Well, okay.
So right back to Empire Strikes
Empire.
Back.
My dominant recollection, and this is funny because like we talked about Star Wars before, and I'm pretty sure I remember a lot of my Star Wars experience incorrectly. You know, like seeing Star Wars in the theaters and the timing of the action figures and everything. So my dominant remembrance of Empire is my mom let me get out of school early to go see like a 1 p.m. showing of Empire Strikes Back. I was so excited to see the movie. And we went to some crappy movie theater on Cleveland Avenue in Fort Myers, Florida. And it was like me and 6 other people in the theater. And
was it you talking about Empire or Star Wars?
Empire.
Do you think it was a second run?
No. Again, as sure as I'm sure of anything, I'm pretty confident this was.
So Empire Strikes Back, one being my favorite of the Star Wars movies. It is the best one.
Absolutely.
It's also one of the best movies ever made.
Oh yeah, it is.
And now I don't know. I can't talk for like people who are not in their 40s.
Sure.
I don't think Empire Strikes Back holds the same weight. I know people who are 10 years younger than me that like think the Harry Potter and Jurassic Park movies are amazing.
Yeah.
It makes sense that those people would think Jurassic Park is amazing, the original, not the new ones.
Sure.
The original, because they were probably the same age. They saw Jurassic Park in the theater around the time I saw the Star Wars movies.
Right.
And so there's like but unlike Jurassic Park, Empire Strikes Back is a really good movie.
Oh, it is. I mean, look, Jurassic Park is technically proficient and flashy.
It serves every.
Yes.
But in the end of the day, I remember even seeing it, and I was just like,
it's a crap story.
It's okay.
Yeah.
The book was interesting.
Yeah.
And
a lot of those Michael Crichton books are like the same thing over and over
again.
And didn't he turn out to be kind of like a right wing?
He ended up being like actually like an anti-climate science.
That was it.
Blew my fucking
Me too.
mind.
Yeah.
Like I was like, what?
Yeah.
Your whole everything you do is on biology.
Right. It was very
climate science, and like to me, it's like that's like the same shit almost. Like I mean, it's affected.
I remember that. I remember reading that, and that was it. You're right. It
just became like a total crank in the end.
Yeah.
And you're always like, were you always like that?
Right.
You know, I guess he got bit by the same mosquito that bit David Mamet.
Yeah, could have been.
The Mamet bug. All right, well, back to the back.
Yeah, Empire. So that was my dominant
I think
memory.
even out of all the Star Wars movies, it's not even just that it's like the best one. I think it's almost like, I mean, you go from the first Star Wars movie to the second one, it's almost like an art house film in some aspects. And I know people will be like, ugh, and like they'll hold their nose up. And I mean, like, it literally is like.
Oh, I could see that.
It's really good. Like the way it's shot. First of all, Ian Kushner did it.
Yes.
And
and he was like an academic. I mean, he was a film teacher at like UC Irvine or something.
Did you ever see I think I've talked about this before. Have you ever watched the documentary Empire's Dream or something? I think it's called that. It's a documentary on Star Wars.
This sounds familiar, but I can't.
I forgot the guy who directed it too. It's like a famous documentary guy.
I've seen a few documentaries. The guy who did the
Civil War documentary.
Oh, Ken Burns?
Yeah, he did the documentary. And it's really interesting about like, well, one, the first hour, most of it's about just the creation of Star Wars, like just to get it made, what they did. And the second one's pretty interesting too, because it's like, I think Lucas like spent his own money basically. I mean, this is where he truly becomes like the businessman, and he like really like this is his movie. Like, he owns it. He doesn't direct it because he's so busy trying to make his own he's
No,
trying
he
to
took
make
out
a
all
business.
these loans and stuff to.
But
Yeah.
at the same time, probably the smartest move he ever did was getting more outside help. He had a lot of outside help with the first one.
Yeah.
He had a lot of outside help with the second one. I think he took more creative control in the third one.
Yeah, that stands to reason.
And then obviously the prequels
Sure.
explains itself.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I remember even as a kid, everyone talking about how the director was just amazing and kind of transformed what was
And he
kind of
doesn't
a
get the
pulpy-
credit for it though. He
No,
really
no.
doesn't. He doesn't get. It's always viewed as a George Lucas movie. And that's fine.
Yeah.
But it is. It's like it's one of those weird things where, like, I think Spielberg has produced movies, but like
Sure.
he doesn't. It doesn't hold the same weight like as like Lucas with Star Wars. It's just he's like he is literally the Stanley. Well, not. I would say he probably. I don't know. That's like a weird. I'm sure that I probably entered a weird battle. I don't want to about Stanley with Marvel and Lucas, but. It's just he becomes the complete face of it. And I remember even as a kid, I always thought he directed them all. And I remember even as a kid, I was like, oh no, he didn't direct Return. He didn't
Oh, yeah. I'll bet you if
direct
you
Empire.
asked 100 people in a mall somewhere who directed Empire Strikes Back, I'll bet you like 99 of them would say George Lucas.
Yeah, they would just assume that he did everything.
Yeah. And that, I get that. That makes
yeah.
sense.
But have you ever, before we go really deep into these movies, into this movie, have you heard his original pitch for the new series?
Maybe.
Okay, so
You mean this? You mean 7, 8, 9?
he came up. Basically, a book came out recently, I guess, from the head of Disney. So, like all the stuff about the Lucas deal is what came out. I think about like the thing with the royalties and like supposedly like Lucas had a script made for episode 8 and 9.
Okay.
It was not in the deal that they had to. I don't think I think in the deal they didn't have to take those scripts. Like they could be like, yeah, thank you. We'll look at that. Oh, thank you, George.
Yeah, right.
Here's your money.
Yeah. Send it to rewrites.
Yeah.
Stat.
Send it to the shredders.
Yeah, right.
No, but he like
the shredder droid.
Well, the funny thing is, it's like
Put googly eyes on the shredder. We call it R2 Shred 2.
R2 Shred 2. Yep. So the concept is so whack. Like I hate using that word.
Oh, yeah.
Whack, but
Right.
it is.
Well,
It's like it had something to do with like this would basically because he like trashes in their movies.
Yeah.
He has, which
Right.
he really shouldn't do that.
No.
Regardless if they suck or not or whatever the theory is, because the prequel sucked.
Yeah,
you could
right.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The prequel, like
Glass houses, George.
yeah,
Glass.
like you know what the prequels are? The prequels are like what the originals were, but without like the good, like the better dialogue, pacing, and like actual character building
and heart.
Like
I mean,
and heart because like but the character design's there. I said this before. It's like the new ones. I feel like the character design to me, except for like BB-8 and some, they're not as good as I think the prequels had great character design.
Mm-hmm.
It was interesting. It was different.
Yeah,
it was more
absolutely.
alien looking. It was like expanded from the. And I felt like the new ones, they feel like they're just they're like more shrunk in as opposed to being even expanded even more and going even crazier.
Yeah.
They tried to in Last Jedi, especially when they went to like the Vegas planet. There was definitely some goofy looking aliens and some crazy stuff. His concept, I think I'm going to butcher this, but like it was something about the wills and playing with the midichlorians, and the wills are like this. It's like almost like a microverse.
Well, the Book of the Wills was in his first draft of like Saga of the Star Killer or whatever. Like way before he even did Star Wars, he was talking about I want to say it was the Book of the Wills was like their Bible, their holy text or something. But you're right. They brought that back to some degree in Rogue One, right?
The is it like the guys who worship like they're like priests?
Yeah,
like the blind guy.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
I guess so. Yeah, Order of the Wills or something.
Something like that.
Well, this was gonna be something else.
Okay.
And it would almost be like the microverse, and that like people like Luke Skywalker is a starship to these people.
Oh.
Okay.
They
already made that movie. It starred Eddie Murphy. It was called Starship Dave.
Okay,
or it was called. I don't think it was.
They
They might have changed the title. I don't know if it was called Starship Dave. I think they changed it. Yeah, there was a movie that came out years ago from Eddie Murphy.
Wow.
A horrible movie.
Okay.
Where he plays a guy who's not really human. He's actually a spaceship for little aliens. And
I do remember this.
And they're trying to pretend to be a person.
Right. And they were like steering him and stuff like that.
And
yeah.
then he'd have to be human. And,
right.
And
wow, yeah.
That movie, I remember reading about it and I was blown away that I was like, no way they're making this.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, I started seeing like the full ad campaign was a giant Eddie Murphy head on like a truck.
Yeah.
Like a giant Eddie Murphy head. Like him like like that, like whatever that thing he does.
Yeah.
And then he made some off AIDS joke. No, I was kidding.
Eddie Murphy had a string of terrible. After he made his AIDS jokes in Raw and Delirious,
well,
he had a string
unlike
of very
other
bad
people,
movies.
he did come out and say that he was wrong. 20 years ago, he did that.
Right.
So he's cool.
But
this movie. So when I just thought about that now, as I was saying it, like Luke Skywalker is like the Star Destroyer for these
midichlorian type
I don't even
creatures.
understand like how this movie would even work, but my God, of course, if George Lucas came and you're the head of Disney and you're like, listen, I want to get stormtroopers.
Yeah,
I want Chewbacca.
I want to put Darth Vader on a shirt.
Falcon. I want to do this. Okay, I got this great idea.
Right.
Picture these little tiny dust particles.
Oh, jeez.
Called the whales.
Right.
And we're the spaceships. Oh, George, that's great. Hey, let me walk you out.
Yeah,
and, you feel free to take a muffin or grab yourself a bottle of water. All right, cool. We'll give you a call later. Bye.
You call the guys with the giant butterfly net.
I was like reading this. I was like, okay, I appreciate that this is, the argument is like these new Star Wars movies are garbage. And I appreciate that this is different.
Oh, yes.
But also, it's like too different.
Right. It's very different.
It's like, maybe if you, it's almost like maybe if you made that like immediately after Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Like maybe, like if you were making if you were making that immediately and someone was like, made another Star Wars movie just to like kind of cozy up so the other crazy one would hide the other. I don't know.
Yeah, it's something.
All right, well, let's talk about the good one.
Yeah.
Empire Strikes Back.
Right.
It's the gold standard.
It really is. And I will say it works on like every level. It opens so well. It's got such great set pieces.
The story process is totally different from the first one.
Yep.
It's almost like working backwards in some ways. What's funny is this movie is the reason why I'll never be late to a movie. I saw this movie when I was like 3 or 4 years old, and it was like wintertime. I remember I was like wearing a boot and like I was like I had a scab or something in my leg. I don't know. I just remember this very well. And of course, my parents were notoriously late people all the time.
Sure.
We didn't get to the movie till after the Wampa scene.
Oh,
and I had that toy.
That's unacceptable.
I got there just in time though. And I remember this because I had the toy. You remember the toys?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember like the Tauntaun?
Yep.
And you could stick Luke in the belly?
in the back, yeah. Oh, yeah, in the belly, right.
Well, they had two versions.
Yes.
They had one that was
the rideable Tauntaun.
Well, they were both rideable, but then they came out with another one with the split in the stomach. Yeah. And I would shove Luke in there.
Right.
And I didn't think twice about it. I was like, yeah, you got to stay warm, Luke. Get in there. Get inside that Tauntaun's belly.
They used to make...
And then you could, if you stuck him in... He would be completely stuck, and I'd be trying to fish him out.
They used to make a sleeping bag, a Tauntaun sleeping bag. Do you remember that?
That was started as a joke.
Yeah, it was.
And then I think they actually ended up making it.
Yeah,
a couple. Yeah, it started as like a complete parody.
Yeah,
this joke
came out years after.
Yeah,
but
many years later. Yeah, but the toy, when you think about it, it's like really funny. And I remember going to see the movie, and they actually show you the scene where Han uses the lightsaber. Which is like, whoa, he's using a lightsaber. He's using it.
It's like picking up Thor's hammer.
I know, it is.
Yeah.
Except to like gut a dead animal.
Yeah.
And then like when he cuts it open, you just see all the guts.
Just like
and I was like, my toy doesn't look like that. Right. I was like, ew. And he's like, oh, and I thought they smelled worse on the outside.
Doing a one-liner to no one.
Yeah. Who are you talking to?
Right.
The audience, guys.
Yeah.
Right? It stinks.
Yeah. Well, that was great. Well, I thought the very first scene was like so iconic. The droid.
Yeah.
Do
you notice how like Predator begins like that? There's a lot of movies that begin like that with like the ship coming down and evading or like an alien. There's several, and Predator kind of begins just like that. I know there's a couple others that I'm missing. Yeah. Of like a ship dropping something off. And
Right. That is a great scene. And it just set the mood and it was so menacing and like clearly different and threatening. So.
Right. Well, yeah, the first one is like just a straight up the ship being chased by the other one. Yes. And this is like just something else is going on.
Yeah.
You know, and so Luke, I guess it begins with that, then it goes right to Luke, right?
Yep.
And
he's on patrol.
He's on patrol, but then he gets whacked by a Wampa.
Yeah, but they even say something like...
well, he's on patrol with Han, and Han's like somewhere else.
Right. Like they say to Luke is like, I'm going to go investigate this or whatever, and they're like, look, it's going to get like 1,000,000 degrees below zero. And there's like these...
It's already like a frozen planet to begin with.
Yeah.
Like, you have to beat your tauntaun will freeze.
Right.
It's like, whatever.
Yeah. It's like...
Get in an ice cave or something.
But then, he gets wamped by a Wampa.
Yeah.
Gets whomped.
He gets whomped. And then they cut to, I guess, Han getting back to the base, and he's talking to Leia. And everything.
Yeah, little tiff.
They're having problems with the ship, which is kind of like a running gag throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
And my favorite, that's where Han's like, I gotta go. He's telling like the rebel leader, like whoever, one of the high command, he's like, I got a bounty on my head, and the guy's like, I understand.
Yeah.
A bounty is a...
Right.
I don't know. Paper towel company. Yeah.
But no, he's like, look, I'd love to... It's kind of a nicely done scene.
You could tell that it's not like the first movie where he's just like, yeah, I'm out of here, kid. I'm just in it for the money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Han Solo. I'm a rogue, you see? Yeah. You can tell he's been with them longer.
Yep.
He actually does have kind of an emotional attachment to these people. It's like, it's not like before.
Yeah.
It's not like they say in the movie, this movie takes place 3 years later, but it has been like confirmed that Empire takes place 3 years after Star Wars at New Hope.
That would make sense.
And like returns a year later.
Yeah, because they'd have to find Hoth, build a base.
Yeah, well,
clearly
they've been like
some stuff had been going on.
Right.
You know, I mean, like they give you enough subtle clues so that you're like, well, yeah, clearly.
And then like Luke is like, he's not a Jedi, but he's starting to do some things.
Yes, he's much more proficient.
Well, when he gets to the next, so then, like, I guess there's some more talking, whatever. Then he says something to the princess, and obviously there's like some flirting going on, and he makes like a Harrison Ford smirky face,
right?
Like, yeah, princess, or whatever he does. I think he does. I don't.
Well, we watched separately the deleted scenes, and that scene went on for like 9 minutes.
Oh, there's like more dialogue. Yeah.
I'm glad they cut it to what they cut it because it was like.
Well, it's all about pacing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because this movie does that so well. It's like scene after scene after scene,
and it bleeds in, and more things go on.
Yep.
But it all works, and this is like, it's like Star Wars doesn't really have that. The first one, where like. Because everybody's kind of like almost on the same journey. Like, this one begins like the whole, like, where characters are facing different battles. Like, you got the Luke thing going on, and you have, like, the Han thing going on, and then, like, Return, it, like, splits into, like, 3.
Yeah.
And I think they said the complaint was with Episode 1 was now you have, like, there was, like, 4 things going on.
Right.
Like, the Gungans, Qui-Gon... Amidala doing her thing, and then Anakin being a dumb kid with the ship.
It was very confusing.
It just becomes a mess. And it's like, but it's funny because in the first one, it's like, it's literally like one with some cut things in it, but it's still one story. And Empire like works, and it's like Return, you could kind of see, it's like, all right, this is getting too much.
Yeah. But Empire was like the perfect balance.
Right. Well, they both, I know we're jumping ahead, but I think you guys probably seen this movie, right?
Hopefully.
If you haven't.
Yeah. Pause this and do your homework.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Because I know we didn't. I'm just kidding.
Well, yeah. Look, it's funny you say that because I watched this movie. I don't know, like realistically, I saw it in the theater probably like 3 or 4 times, and I've seen it on video at least a dozen times.
Yeah.
And I watched it again the other night, and I got a copy off of Amazon, and it was, I think it's the special edition. Like you said, there's minimal changes in the special edition.
But is it the one where he screams or no?
I think that the scream was not there.
Then you got either the Blu-ray version or the DVD version.
Well, this was off Amazon. It
Right,
wasn't,
but it's going to be whatever the most current... Amazon's going to have, like, whatever's the most current.
Yeah, it's funny you say that.
So it's probably the Blu-ray edition.
I think I picked the newest version because when you select it in Amazon, it gives you a little warning that says, like, hey, there's a bunch of different versions of this movie. Which one do you want? And I think I just selected default or something. And
it's probably the most up-to-date version.
That's my guess.
And even that movie... Well, we'll get into it. Okay, so then you get to the Wampa, and it's funny. It's like those old movies, the original versions don't exist. I mean, you could find them, and there's like edits, and people will put them up, and I think like Lucas or like this is years before Disney bought it, but they did release DVDs that came with the Laserdisc version of the original trilogy because fans were just like getting really annoying. They're like, "Fine, here you go." Right. So they came out with like another edition. Like, okay, you're gonna buy the movie again, and they threw the Laserdisc version. Laserdisc version is like the holy grail back in the day of Star Wars stuff because this was the only way you were able to see all the cutscenes. And this is where I found out about all these crazy cutscenes that I wanted to see for years. And now we just go on fucking YouTube, type in cutscenes,
Empire,
Star Wars, all of them. They're all on there on YouTube, and it's pretty amazing.
I love deleted scenes. There's usually a reason they were deleted,
right? But what was great, the reason why the deleted scenes back in the day, for me at least, with Star Wars, especially prequels, was like any new Star Wars content,
new lore,
was gold.
Yeah.
Anything,
right?
Just like Yoda farting,
right.
like.
Grand Moff Tarkin's middle name. Yeah. You're like, who knew it was Eugene?
Emperor Sal.
Yeah.
Palpatine.
Salvatore Palpatine. Well, you're right. But they also, like, in a modern sense, like, the deleted scenes give you, like, a sense of, like, well, what were they thinking, creatively? Like, we talked about, the Han Solo and Leia scene, which was originally much longer.
So you get to the point though where Luke is back you see Luke now in the cave. Yep. Actually, Han, like he's like, I gotta go get my friend Luke, and they're like, your tauntaun will freeze, and then he says, well, then I'll see you in hell.
Yeah,
and everyone, and it's so funny because like this like dialogue, like kind of changes everything because you're just like, okay, you're just watching a movie, and we live on this planet, and hell is a concept, at least in this part of the world, and people understand what it is. It's just a saying people say. But when you say in a Star Wars movie now, it opens up a Wikipedia
entry,
and then they are like, what is hell? Is hell exist in Star Wars?
Yeah.
Like, is that a thing?
Why would they conceptualize anything as hell?
Yeah. Right. Like, I mean, there's planets that are just straight up, like, whatever Christian concept.
That is really true,
it's just a funny thing. And almost in a way, Hoth could be considered like the Dante's Inferno version of hell, where it's actually like all
this
ice.
Frozen,
Well, I always found that like a funny little thing, and people like get real deep into it, like, whoa, is there a hell in Star Wars? And I'm like,
there are a lot of quirky.
I don't think there's a lot of thought to it. I think they just said it.
I think they just said it. In fact, it could have been ad-libbed for all I know.
Yeah.
But
like, that sounds good.
I do agree though that there's a lot of stuff in Empire that you can like really examine.
Well, these movies don't take place on Earth. And that's why I like movies like this, because they can't do product placements.
Right.
I mean, the movie itself you can see the movie itself as a product placement for all the products
they're not going to be drinking
But they're not going to be sitting there going, what are you doing?
A Capri Sun.
Oh, just sitting here drinking a Zima.
Right.
Cool. You got a frosty Zima for me too, Yoda?
Right. Zima. Yeah.
That aged well.
Yeah. Zima. Have you had Zima lately?
Is that around?
It's still around. They sell it
I
at
had
the
it
Walmart.
once, and it does. I didn't like it.
It's rough. Yeah. Well, it's kind of come back as like a Pabst Blue Ribbon-y, kitschy type of thing. Like kids will drink it now, like Zima.
Well, kids?
Well,
you mean children?
20-year-olds. People in their mid-20s or something.
Right. Now, the kids to me, I'm 100 years older than them.
Tell you, man. Yeah.
So there's that, and then you get to Luke, And I was like, I had like the toys. I had like the Wampa toy. I think I had more Empire Strikes Back toys than I did like original Star Wars. Probably just because I was like, it's like there's a Mr. Show joke.
Yeah.
You watch Mr. Show?
Yeah.
They had like this one opening one time. They would have like Bob and David talking, and they'd get into an argument. And Bob, what's his name? Bob Odenkirk and Dave. It was the guy.
Showalter's in my head, but it's
no. It's Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, Dave Chappelle.
No. Tobias.
Yeah, Tobias Funke.
Yeah.
All right. I forget his name.
David Cross.
Oh, David Cross, yes.
He's like, listen here, man. You're Star Wars. I'm Empire.
Yeah.
You don't understand me. And it's like funny, but it's like there is a big distinction.
There's a divide.
Like Boba Fett, Slave One. I think I got that. Like I had my tonsils removed.
Oh, yeah.
And I got that toy when
Right.
I had tonsils. That was like my gift.
Yeah.
And that was a big fucking deal.
That's funny.
Like to get the Slave One. And I always would try to recreate that scene because it came with the Han and Carbonite thing.
Yeah,
And I would try to create like how to get Stan in my feet, because in the movie I'd watch it, I'd be like fascinated, like
right,
where they show him holding it, but it's floating midair.
Yeah,
like the guy's just like got his finger on it.
Well, they're like guiding it.
Yeah, they're guiding it,
yeah.
but it's like it's just going. So I would try to like
self-propel.
I would try to like have the figure, because it was like hollow in the bottom, so you could get the figure
right.
technically to grip it. And I'm trying to stand it up, and it was always lean forward. I think
That's
I got
funny.
like one time to stand, and I was like in my 30s. I did. And I was kidding.
Right.
No, I did. No, it was like when I was like 5 years old. And I was like, it was a big fucking deal. I'm like, I want to recreate the scene.
Yeah.
The one thing I hated too about Star Wars figures when I was a kid was because they started showing commercials for G.I. Joe.
Okay,
The figures, not the dolls, the action figures. And they would show like all the different poses they could do, because they had like all these joints, and the original Star Wars figures sucked.
Right. Oh,
they were
did,
cool looking, they were fun for what they were, but they had no joints.
Yeah, but right.
You had to like shove things in, but then like the G.I. Joes, they'd be like able to do all kinds of crazy positioning, and I was like, oh, I want my Star Wars like that.
Right. Well, I don't. Yeah, I remember the Star Wars that weren't articulated or whatever. And they talk about the jointed action figures as having like 140 points of articulation or something.
What?
But when like you can move the knee and the ankle.
Yeah.
But the original Star Wars, like they sat like you just folded them in half basically to sit them in a chair.
Right, you just shoved them in something,
Yeah.
and they could only just move their arms and legs and their head. They couldn't even turn their waist.
Well, the Empire figures were like so money because you had like multiple versions of each character.
Well, that's when they started. Like, it's kind of funny too. I always found it interesting with the figures, and I know we're not staying on the plot of the movie, but that's right. You've seen this fucking movie,
right?
I've seen it. Unlike toys the way they're made now, and I'm shocked that Kenner didn't bother. Oh, thank you. Kenner didn't bother doing this. Was like I think the legendary thing is like they made like 82 figures or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
And for some reason they didn't make a Grand Moff Tarkin. They didn't make. There was like a lot of weird ones that they made and a lot that they didn't make. And people were always like, "Why didn't they make that one and not this one?"
Right.
Like, where's my 6-titty bitch? I wanted that one when I was a kid. I was like, "Where's my action figure for that?" You made the Rancor Keeper.
They even made a trash compactor monster figure. Technically, I mean, like there's a little orange tentacle or whatever that was in the Death Star model.
But like the figures start to get much more interesting too. They get better. There's a big jump in quality.
Yep.
Just like
winter coat.
Like Boba Fett looks awesome. But what I always noticed was they never made an update. Like Luke, they would still sell the original Luke from Star Wars back in the day, but they would just change the packaging behind it. But like Darth Vader, you would think like he's in every movie and he looks like that. They never made like a better version of Darth Vader,
and it would make perfect sense because
people would
he's
buy
a cyborg, and it would be natural for him to.
No, but even just a better quality skull.
True, yeah.
And I, back in the day, they're probably just like, why the hell are we going to do that? We're selling Darth Vader the way. Why do we need to make another Darth Vader? You guys go out and buy a Darth Vader.
Right.
We'll just put him on a different card back. You sucker. We're making money here.
Yeah.
You heard the deal that Kenner made? It was like, actually, they made millions.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they made some crazy deal with Star Wars, and there's documentaries on it you can see.
I remember when I was a kid, I had an allowance. And one year, my mom gave it to me in Star Wars figures. like every week we would go to
That's kind
some
of like,
store.
Yeah, that's kind of how my allowance ended up being when I was a kid.
And she would buy me 2 Star Wars figures, like each.
Spoiled.
Yeah, well, whatever. I don't know how much they
I got
were.
an Ugnaught if I was lucky.
So Micronaut time travel.
No, Ugnaught. Those things,
yeah.
They're like the pigmen and
Right. Well, I remember the Bespin Luke with the tan outfit and the yellow saber and everything.
Yeah. It didn't pop out that one. That one he actually held, right?
Yeah, it was a stick, basically.
Yeah.
Like you.
I had the Return of the Jedi one. I remember my parents picked that up for me.
Yeah.
And it was like such a big deal because it was like he's in the black outfit and he's got the green lightsaber.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, holy shit.
Well, this one, the arms, I'm motioning here, which you can't see, but the arms didn't fully push in. Like all the Star Wars figures, there was no space between the arm and the body, right? But the Bespin figures at the one store I went to, they all had like a tiny little bit of space so that they looked, and I don't know, look,
They looked broken or something?
They looked, well, you could clearly tell that they weren't joined. Like all the other figures were. And look,
the seam was revealing.
We could do a whole episode about my psychological problems. But like one of them,
I don't like seam.
One of them would be a touch of OCD.
Dahmer here.
Well, seriously, like, look, I could not.
Which led to all the frozen heads in my freezer.
I kept returning them. I'd buy it and return it and buy another one and return it. And eventually, I think it was like my 4th one. My mom, she was just like, no, you just deal with this.
Good mother.
Yeah, well,
sometimes you gotta like, you're a kid and you need guidance.
Yeah, well,
I'm all for that.
If no one had stopped me, I'd still be returning it.
Right, you'd still be returning it. Sir, why are you returning this? This figure goes for like $700. You got a perfect card. Oh, you want to return that for $4?
Yeah,
give that to me.
Gladly.
There you go.
I'll give you a 10.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they were all, and sometimes I'd get it home, it'd still be in the original packaging. I'd look at it. It's broken!
It doesn't fit.
Fuck.
My God, learning a lot.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Back to the movie.
Yeah, well, yes.
Speaking of like the special edition, Luke's like in the cave. You didn't see any of that stuff until like, it would just be like, you would hear in the background, and what I always loved too was like his feet were literally frozen.
Yes.
And then Luke reaches for the lightsaber. And what I noticed is, and I forget too, like I didn't realize it until like years later. I didn't even think about that. Like that never happened until Empire Strikes Back. The whole using the Force.
Yeah.
Because like Obi-Wan in the first Star Wars movie would just do mind tricks.
Right.
And then like stuff with the lightsaber and like being able to like have some kind of cognitive ability to like do things. But they never showed anything where like waving a hand. Right? Am I wrong?
No, I think you're right. And
I don't think Obi-Wan does that once.
No, he does these aren't the droids.
But he never pushes, does a force push, and like no telekinesis whatsoever, right? Like, Darth Vader does the choke.
Oh,
that's the closest thing.
True.
He does the choke. So there is obviously some kind of like some kind of telekinesis,
but this is unique for like the good guys, and it like so.
Obi-Wan was just like, I'm not gonna do that anymore.
Too old for the shit.
I probably could have helped you guys more if I did that, but
look,
you gotta earn your way.
It so quickly and cleanly showed how much Luke had progressed.
Right, he's struggling to do it, but he just in time he gets the lightsaber out. And like I said, in the original, it's just like the Hoth monster, and then in the new one, you get to see that Hoth monster. And this is probably one of the best parts. I will, people will shit on the special editions or whatever. I will argue this day and say that is one. I love that scene.
Yep.
What I love about it too is that it's practical, so it fits. It almost fits perfectly into the original.
Yeah.
I liked how they made it. They showed you how they made it. It's done. It's almost like a 3/4 set. Because like a Hoth monster is really like 9 feet tall or something like that. But, the way it's shot, it's like just a dude in a suit. And he's like normal size, but it doesn't matter.
It's like a Chewbacca suit they bleached. It's like
kind of. Maybe even,
But they accidentally bleached it.
It's just done so well. He's just sitting there eating. It's like more like, I love it. I don't care. But the one thing I never liked, and again, about the special editions with the original, was like, they would show this monster, and it'll come at you. And he's like at full detail, but then they would show and then for some bizarre reason they would decide, okay, well we're going to keep the original Hoth monster scene, which is just him coming at you.
Yes.
And then that's when Luke, and then he just runs out in the original, but in the new version, he strikes him, and you see that he cut the monster's arm off, and you see him, he's like, ah!
Right.
But it's like, to me, it's like, why keep that original scene for prosperity? It just doesn't edit right. It's like I said about like with the New Hope when they would do like weird special edition, and you're like, okay, you fix this and you fix this. Why don't you just fix this too? I mean, you might as well just go all in and just like, we're just going to re-edit this whole thing, because then it just makes it look sloppy. It makes the special edition stuff stick out way too much. It's not seamless.
It's not seamless. It pulls you out of the story.
It's like why did the Hoth monster get a little cheaper looking and a little grainier?
Yeah. Well, like so much of that, not to be like weird and technical about it, but it depends on you suspending your disbelief. You're gonna like surrender to this fantasy world.
Well, you're already showing. See, in the original it works because you only get to see it for a little bit, so you get a vague idea of it with the limitations. Like when he attacks Luke, you just see the mouth, and he's like, "Rawr," and the arm, and then in the cave, you just see him coming at you, and that's it. But in this one, they decide we're going to show you all of it, and it looks awesome, but it's like
juxtaposed against the
it's weird, but. Again, I'm just nitpicking. That's not an act. That doesn't hurt the movie.
No. Look, it's a minor.
Yeah, so Luke escapes. He's running, and then he starts. It's cold as fuck.
Yep.
And he's freezing. And then, and I guess like Han's out to get him, and then you see Luke like literally like frozen, almost frozen to death.
Yep.
And that's when Obi-Wan shows up.
Yeah, well, and it's so weird because like you couldn't. It seemed like a dream.
It's almost can be. It's almost like he's like, go to the Dagobah system,
right?
Well, you meet my master Yoda.
Yeah,
and that's when somebody gets up and goes, excuse me, but technically, Obi-Wan's master, was
Qui-Gon
the Jedi master Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah, that's real true.
But I will say that episode 2, he does a good job of showing that Yoda is everyone's master.
That's true,
because he trains the younglings.
Yeah.
And so he probably was training.
Well, Yoda was like 900 years old.
He was probably training a 4-year-old Obi-Wan.
Yeah, that makes sense. No, look,
Here's 4-year-olds go swing around your little tiny baby lightsabers. Remember that scene? It's like, oh, that's so cute. You're like, oh my god, those kids have like
deadly weapons.
Like seriously, deadly weapons. Like they should have like one kid cut off his arm by accident.
Right.
Like, oopsie.
Yeah. Ow. I'll take you to the back to chamber. We'll take you.
Give that kid a cyborg arm.
Yeah, put a little witch hazel on it. Well, yeah. So like, okay, so you see Han come out.
Yeah.
And he guts.
Well, yeah, Han like kind of runs through the Obi-Wan cloud, because it's kind of cool the way it comes in.
Yeah, that's very
almost
cool.
Like maybe Obi-Wan was helping Han find him.
Yeah,
maybe without
as like a beacon of sorts.
Yeah, like he wouldn't even know. He's just like, oh, well, I guess he's that way.
Right,
whatever that floating man is.
Yes. Yeah,
and then he saves him, and then a ship comes. And Rogue 2.
Yeah,
I never even thought about that when the guy's like, funny. Rogue 2 here.
Yeah,
I was like, Rogue 1.
Right, I never thought about that.
It just made Rogue 1 so much better now.
Well, maybe
I actually
not.
care about the adventures of what were their names? Lady, Robot, Man.
Yeah, right.
Angry Man. Angry Man 2. Blind Guy. Blind Guy's friend, maybe husband.
Well,
you always hear that? They always say, like, there's like, again, it's like things can't be what they are. It's just like, no, they're not friends. That's his husband.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And I'm just like,
that's a stretch.
I mean,
cool. I mean, whatever. Yeah, that's
cool.
fine.
Yeah. It's the '90s, dude. Deal with it.
Yep.
Not like there's anything wrong with it.
Yeah, right. A little side topic. Yeah. Well. Okay. So
we're 10 minutes into the movie, but we're 60 minutes into the podcast.
Well. Okay. So they get Luke back.
Yep.
They back to him.
Then the next scene, he's in a diaper, floating in a fish tank.
Yes. And the rebel, you get a better sense of the rebel base.
Yep.
And it's a cool base. It's like a wartime kind of.
Cliff Clavin's there.
Oh yeah. Right. He's a rebel soldier, commander.
Yeah, his voice is a little different. He's not like, hey, Norm. He doesn't have the Boston accent or whatever. Yeah. Hey, Normie.
Yeah,
he's got like some general accent or something.
Well, and then, look, upcoming, though, is a scene that I just remember loving so much.
The part when Leia kisses Luke?
No. That's...
Well, okay, so they show him, and I remember as a kid seeing this in the theater, and I always thought it was like so interesting. I him in the Bacta tank. That's what it's called, Bacta tank.
Yeah, Bacta tank.
Bacta.
Yeah.
And in I do like in Rogue One, to go back to Rogue One,
yes,
because they show Vader in the Bacta tank.
Oh, yeah.
All his limbs removed, so he's just like a floating torso.
Right, yes.
That's kind of cool. It's
right.
A little bonus for everybody.
It is an odd one. He's just sort of bobbing in there.
Yeah, it's like, don't disturb me when I'm what's it called? Not Basket Case. Oh my god, that was like a horrible movie.
Oh yeah, Basket Case.
No, Basket Case is Belial. That's the little monster.
Oh, okay, yeah.
This is the one with Sherilyn Fenn.
Oh, raising.
She gets her legs.
Boxing Helena.
Boxing Helena. Boxing Darth Vader.
Boxing Helena was so bad.
Yeah, Boxing Helena was a movie that took like 100 years to come out.
Well, was David Lynch's daughter directed it?
I don't. Yeah, I maybe, but it was like one of these movies that like were talked about for years. I heard about this even as a kid.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And originally it was supposed to have Madonna, and then it was all different names, and then it was like John Goodman.
Yep.
And then the names just got less prestigious as they went along.
Yeah.
Nothing against
Julian Sands, who was also in
Sherilyn Fenn, and also in Naked Lunch.
Oh yeah.
And he played Jor-El in Smallville.
Right. All right. And Sherilyn Fenn was great in Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
So. Solid A- listers.
A minus, B minus,
sure.
C minus, depending on the lister.
Yeah.
But it's a boxing Darth Vader.
Yeah.
You listen to this podcast.
It all comes back in the end.
What the hell are these guys talking about? I came here to listen to you guys talk about Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
I chose to listen, instead of rewatching the movie, I chose to listen to two guys talk about it. And they're talking about boxing fucking Helena.
The career of Julian Sands.
And Julian Sands and Sherilyn Fenn. What the fuck did I just get into?
All right.
Well, you haven't seen nothing yet because we're gonna start throwing in weird shit.
Oh yeah. Mac and me coming up.
Alpha's gonna make an appearance. Matt Gammy's gonna make an appearance. Amy Klobuchar's gonna make an appearance. Wait, it's coming up.
Yeah, right. All right. So you have Luke in the Bacta tank.
Yep, and they're like. He's in a and I love like the part when he gets pulled. He's like floating. Imagine me like wiggling, but then he just gets like someone just yanks him out, and I'm like, is there a better way to do that?
It's weird.
Well, you know the main little inside baseball here. You know the main reason why they did that scene supposedly, and I don't know if that's the plot of the film was he gets hit and everything. You know, when he filmed the movie, he got fucked up. He got into a motorcycle accident.
Oh yeah.
So like the scene when he's like when they come in. And he's wearing, like, robes, but it almost looks like a variation of his original outfit from the first Star Wars movie.
Right.
Like, they're like, how you doing, kid?
Yeah.
And then, like, Master Luke. And R2. Beep, beep, boop, 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 boop. And then the farted camel from episode 1.
Yeah. There's
they all come in. Watto. It's like the ending of Wizard of Oz, but in the beginning of Empire.
Yeah. Well,
it's like the reversal.
Right.
When he wakes up.
Yeah.
And that's the scene when I guess Leia, to make Han jealous,
she kisses Luke. But
did you see the cut scene? And we're talking about edited scenes.
Yeah.
There is a scene where Luke's like basically like implying that. Like, he never kissed a girl, or
right.
at least he never got to kiss Leia, or something like that.
Yes.
And it's almost like makes the scene even, obviously, you're like, okay, clearly they had no fucking intention of making these people into brother and sister.
I don't think so.
No fucking way. And when you see this original scene, there's an edit, you can find this on YouTube. Just literally type in Empire Strikes Back cut scenes.
Yes.
It's like 12 minutes long, has all the scenes.
I saw
and
that.
There's dialogue before where Luke is talking to Leia. It's before everyone's in the room. And Luke is basically, it's like a lead up to her kissing him.
Yeah.
So it adds a little more like why she did it. There's a conversation they had before.
Right.
But it's so creepy when you watch it, like knowing that now and for the past over 30 years, they're brother and sister.
Yeah, it is.
So it's kind of funny. Because in 1979 when they made the movie, or 78 when they were making it, they had no intention of them being brother and sister. Now, there was a hint in the end of Empire when Luke is calling onto her.
Right.
But, which, you can look back at it now and you're like, oh, holy shit. She's a little bit of he was tapping into whoever was like a force. He knew she, deep down, there was something up with her. but no.
Yeah, I think that's
Either
like
that
a reimagining of it. But yeah.
Or maybe Ian Kirchner is like really big into incest or something.
Well,
Lucas is like, I don't know if I want to have the incest part. And he's like, I do.
Right.
This is my movie now, Lucas.
Places you never would have taken it. Yeah, so it is okay. So there is that scene, and like Luke kind of smugly,
and he like does that, and
yeah.
it's just to piss off Han. It's really funny. It's like it's like one of those great scenes with. It's like scenes like this. It's like the original movie is like campy and kind of corny when everybody's together and they're all like the way they talk to each other. It's like, oh yeah, well, listen here, Han. You know,
definitely.
But in this one, it's like it's more natural. They feel like people. They feel like there's a history. Like you could tell they're friends.
Yeah.
The dialogue, the way it flows, the way it flows between them, they feel like characters. And like I said, Star Wars I know has a special place in their heart, but Empire is like such a massive improvement just from like a movie, and like you said, it's lived in. And that's the one thing the prequels do. There's nothing in the prequels that even comes close to that shit. No. The only thing is probably just that one scene when Palpatine is with Anakin in the weird opera thing.
The opera house, yeah.
That's the best part of the whole fucking trilogy.
Well, I know it's
dialogue-wise and everything.
Easily. And I know it's...
Except for when Yoda fought.
Oh, yeah.
Started bouncing around.
So it's almost a cliche to say it, but like really good stories will show you, like a movie, it'll show you something, it won't tell you something.
Right.
You know, like you just, like the little scene where like Luke smugly smiles at Han, that shows you so much.
And Chewbacca's like playing off of it too. Everyone C-3PO's like, ooh.
Right.
And like it's just it's like a good cadence.
Nobody needs to tell you what's going on.
You know they're friends. Right. You know they know each other. There's definitely time passed.
You don't need a third character saying, "Oh, I think he's mad because you know, like
like the Greek chorus."
Exactly. You know, but like so many movies
no, we don't need to do this shit. Like, that's like this is a callback to when plays were made 10,000 years ago. Okay, well, that's great, but guess what? We live in the year. Yeah. This is 1979. Right. Let's make. People, we have a different society. We have traffic lights.
But I think that's where Kirshner did so well. Is like
we know how to cure diseases without chopping off heads.
He would show you stuff and not tell you stuff. And I think that
it's not just Ian Kirshner. There's another person who gets like a lot of not a lot of almost feels like he's more appreciated years later. He just died a couple years ago, but he was the producer of.
I was reading this on Wikipedia. He died of like some sort of liver cancer or.
Gary Kurtz is like, it's like people view him almost like as like the Bill Finger of Batman. I don't know if you know who Bill Finger is from Batman.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like the joke was for years, it's like Bob Kane got all the credit.
Right.
And then it was revealed that like, no, Bill Finger came up with like literally everything that had to do with the character.
Yeah, you had mentioned this on our Batman episode.
There's I told you that joke with the action figure someone made of Bob Kane's Batman. It's just a dude in like a red shirt with bat wings on his back. So good. Not to say that Lucas, it's nowhere near as bad as that.
Sure.
But obviously, it just shows that he had there was more guidance, there's more creative people involved, there's more people like, hey, listen, you know, this is a great idea, but how about we do this? Or,
right.
Hey, I like this, what you're doing here with the Yoda, but how about we do this with the Yoda where, you know, make him like a real character, not just like, you know, like it's like Lucas, like it's almost like he's like, especially when we talked about earlier in the podcast, like his insane idea for the new trilogy. It's like it's like he needed a guy to come in and be like, okay, well that's great with your little microchip guys. Right. What if we did this?
Yeah.
With the wills. And it'd be like, whoa, okay. And it's like, obviously Ian Kirshner was like a guy who did that.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, this guy's clearly
out to lunch,
He's out, let's make a movie, guys. Okay? Right. but and he could have got IMDb and I think he's like involved with Dark Crystal. Like a lot of movies, especially from that time period, it's like he had a he was basically kicked off of Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
I think he was fired.
Huh.
What wanted, I mean, there's all different kinds of theories. Sure. I forgot one of them was like he didn't want another Death Star. He thought it was stupid. I think that was
criticism.
Like one of the big ones was Death Star 2.
Yeah.
Electric Boogaloo.
Right. That is a weird decision. But anyway, I mean,
when I was a kid, I didn't think it was a bad idea. But I was also 5.
Right. And it was like, look, the first Death Star didn't work out super well.
But what I liked about the new one was that it wasn't completed.
Well, so that was super cool.
Sick as shit. Yeah. And I had and my favorite was I had the Return of the Jedi arcade 2600 game.
Oh, okay, nice.
And the game super simple, obviously, 2600.
Right.
But you had an unformed Death Star, and the plot of the game was you just had to shoot. It was almost like like they were building it as you, and if you didn't beat it before it got built, you died.
Yeah. That's cool.
So supposedly, like Kurtz had like, and you could see it. There's definitely more thumbprints on this movie when you look at it.
Right.
Supposedly, like Lucas hates this movie.
Yeah.
And it's like, why? Because it's not really 100% yours or something like that. Like, I don't know. I don't know if that's the case.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that dick. It's just I don't know. I don't know any. I'm never going to meet this guy in my life.
Yeah, probably not.
I'm not going to be close enough to figure out who he is.
Yeah.
I just always wanted to make a movie with the microscopic universe that rode people like a starship. I started in a great Eddie Murphy movie.
Yeah. Well,
I wanted to take it to another level.
I don't know. Look, this eventually at some point the AT-ATs come in, which is probably one of my favorite scenes of all the Star Wars movies ever. Even though I watched it, like I said yesterday, and the technology was not quite there for the AT-ATs.
I love it.
It's like it's stop motion.
Well, but again, it's like you're looking at it now from new eyes.
It's true, yeah.
When I was a kid, I thought it was amazing. And I loved that look fake. It looked like Sinbad.
It looked,
Voyage.
Yeah,
it was like that weird set. They called it like super motion. Or whatever. And that's what they were going to use for the Jurassic Park originally, before they went full CGI.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Do you ever see it? There's like footage of dinosaurs and raptors running.
Right.
It looks cool, but it looks like...
choppy, yeah.
It looks like the AT-ATs.
Right.
I mean, I love it. For some reason, too, to me, it's like as a kid, I can never figure out the scale of things.
Okay, true, yeah.
Except for, like, obviously the X-Wings and, like, the stuff that you see on the set.
Next
they
to a
can
human.
step in.
Yeah.
But man, when it came to like anything that was just like anything from the Empire, I was like, I would try to figure it out. It's like even like as a kid, I would try to figure out the size of stuff. Like even like the medical ship in the end that Luke goes on to get his new hand.
Yeah.
You see like the Millennium Falcon like kind of docked under it, so you get an idea of how big the ship is.
Yeah, you do.
But like when you see in Star Wars and Empire Return, you see like Star Destroyers, and then you see like the Super Star Destroyer, and you're just like, oh my god, how big are these fucking things? And then you see the Death Star, and then you see the AT-AT, and I think like I always love it whenever you look at these books, and it's like, why? I'm like, this is like American movie, but it always like in the fucking metric system.
Oh right,
so like. It was like the AT-AT is 60 meters tall.
Right.
I'm like, fuck you! Just say feet. What the fuck? Like,
you're gonna measure something in apples.
I know you made a lot of these movies in England. Well, the funny thing is, like Empire's like heavily made in England.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
it's like this whole like the set of like Luke, Yoda, and everything.
Okay, yeah.
And he talks about that. Like he was like totally separated from the whole cast for like the majority of filming.
Yeah,
he would like. He's like he missed everybody because he was like basically filming a different movie.
Right, that's crazy.
Where it was just him and a puppet.
Right,
and then like actual snake. He got bit by a snake.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah. Like he actually they had like real live animals. Like,
well, okay, so the AT-ATs come in.
The AT-ATs I never could figure out how big they were, but I think they're supposed to be like 65 feet tall.
Well, I would have okay. So the head of the AT-AT had a crew of like 3 people.
Yeah,
in it, if I remember right.
Yeah.
So you can kind of like do some basic math. I never understood like the utility of an
It makes
AT-AT.
no sense.
Right.
It's like so stupid. It's like what I always liked about the movie too. As a kid, again, I thought it was great.
Yeah.
And I had the action. I didn't have an AT-AT growing up because I wasn't a super rich kid. But
right.
I had the snow spear.
Oh,
I bet if I really cried enough, I could have gotten an AT-AT.
Yes.
I think it was just so in my mind. It was so expensive, or I thought it was, that I didn't bother to ask.
Right. It looked. Yeah. I never had an AT-AT.
Like I didn't have an AT-AT. I didn't have a Millennium Falcon growing up. There's like some things I didn't have. I had like a lot of other ships, but like those were like the big.
Those were the prizes. Yeah.
And I never had those.
We had a Death Star, and that was like money, and we had
I didn't
X-wing.
have that. I had the X-wing. Like I said, I had like a lot of the ships.
Yep.
I had a TIE fighter, but like not the big boys.
Oh, yeah.
I had weird ones, and I wonder if my parents just got clearance or something.
Yeah,
like,
could be.
I had. You say my parents are poor, Joseph?
No.
Because we used to skin rats in the back.
No.
I don't know why we did that.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with, had nothing to do with economic disparity. It's something I like to do. Kid Rock and skin rats.
Oh, woof. We had like a smattering of the big ticket toys, but we had a lot of figures.
I had the stupidest big toy.
Which one?
It was basically like, it's like in one scene in the movie, it's like the Rebel transporter.
Oh, that's a cool one. Yeah,
it is cool. And I remember selling like a moron when I was like a teenager. I sold a lot of these toys for nothing.
Me too. Yeah,
like a jackass, and they always were going for something. I just I wasn't into them anymore. I was like, I want to get CDs and stuff. Yeah. And I was like, dumbass. Like whatever. It's not like they weren't like perfect condition anyway.
That's the thing.
They were played with.
I played with everything I ever got. Yeah. So. Yeah.
But I had that, and I just remember like it was almost like it was like an act. It was a shit, but really what it was like remember the Chewbacca bandolier?
Yeah.
And then the Darth Vader case, and then the C-3PO case.
Oh yeah,
It's kind of like that.
All right.
You could shove
store figures.
Yeah, basically the whole thing was really just a big tray on the inside. Like they stood up.
Yeah.
It was almost like you were putting them in like a little egg carton.
Right.
Like put like a Jawa in a little egg carton.
Yeah.
It was a cool ship.
That's cool.
But the hell are we talking about?
Well, that's come rolling in.
Yeah, but it is a stupid thing. And
well,
the whole plot is like, okay, so the rebels have these special snow speeders made, I guess, for this type of climate. They just happen to have that.
Yeah.
And just happen to have, and then here comes the Empire with these big giant doggies that they're attacking people with. Slow moving doggies. Like I like it. It's like it was supposed to represent like the Empire, and it's like its boot like stopping on. Like, Like, I mean, it's all symbolism and everything. Yeah. But yeah, from a functionality, it's pretty dumb.
Right.
And then the snow speeders had. It was almost like they were made for. It's like someone knew that the Empire had AT-ATs.
Yeah.
And that they
so we need a harpoon gun craft
that we can go around 3 times, because I learned that from the Rogue One video game that came with that. Empire something. It was an awesome game for Nintendo 64. Shadow of the Empire.
Okay.
And in the beginning, you do the Hoth battle, and you got to spin around 3 times. And they hit that button, let go, and that AT-AT comes crashing down.
I think I have that on Battlefield 2. You redo the Star Wars AT-AT battles or something.
Right.
Yeah, that's a great one. I don't know.
It's a little silly.
The snow speeders.
Again, being picky. It does not ruin the movie. The movie's amazing.
So, and then you see the Rebel craft. You see the stormtroopers advancing, kind of invading the base, and they have to bug out in their Rebel transports, and they fire the ion cannons to give them some sort of cover. And it's like such a great scene, the whole thing. Yeah.
Oh, I love the icon. You mean the titty?
Oh, yeah, right. It does
big
look
old,
like that.
The big old titty?
Yeah, right. That shoots ion energy, I guess. Well, the ion cannons were firing, and the Rebel transport ships were leaving. And they were a cool design. They looked like evacuation ships. I don't know what an evacuation ship would look like, but they looked like this. And then that's kind of the end of maybe Act 1, would you say? Or
well, that's when they all split off. I always found while that's all going on, Darth Vader's down there.
Yeah,
and he's trying to get them. Luke is too busy fighting. He's too busy fighting AT-ATs.
Yep.
And his buddy Dak dies.
Right. Dak. Yeah.
And then Han is trying to get the Millennium Falcon to work, and that's the scene that I'm not talking about Wampus.
Yeah,
we talked about this before.
Right.
There's a scene that's cut out, a bunch of scenes cut out.
It's like 40 minutes of scenes. Yeah.
it's a bunch of, it's weird. So supposedly, inside the Rebel base,
right,
they had a room or a freezer room or whatever,
like
they corralled or caught Wampas,
right,
or Hoth monsters, or whatever they were calling them. And in this cutscenes, they hint at it. And the Empire's coming in, and you see like a frozen window, and then like C-3PO, as they're escaping, C-3PO like goes, and there's like a sticker on the wall that says something like, "Stay away from this area because this is where we keep the Wampas."
Right.
And he just like pulls half of it off. It's really clunky and weird.
It's a weird and then, the effects are very poor.
Yeah, and then like the Wampas break out.
Yeah.
And they just start attacking the snowtroopers.
Yeah.
And I love about the snowtroopers were, when we make correlations to like stormtroopers and them being Nazis.
Yeah.
They actually had uniforms that looked like that.
Oh yeah.
With that face covering.
The gown. Yeah.
The Nazis actually had that.
I remember
that figure as a kid. I loved that figure.
Oh, that was amazing. Yeah.
But I used to always thought that was. I'm looking at like history books and I was like, holy shit.
Well, they were absolutely like, and I love that about like there'd be like, oh, of course they're going to have snow uniforms.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like it makes sense. And yeah, so in the real movie, not in the deleted scenes, Vader comes down. He's kind of like leading a search party for the principal characters.
Well, he's after Luke or something.
Right.
Or is this after them in general?
But they've left.
They get away. They get the ship. Everything, like the ship's always not working in Empire. That's like one of the best parts.
Yeah.
And if you ever notice in sequels, that's like a running theme in sequels to movies and second acts. Things start to not work.
Oh, that's
they have
funny.
to give a character. It's like you have so the first movie's always like an origin.
Yeah.
And then the character overcomes, and then he becomes who he is or she is, and then it's like they learn their power, and it's like the Matrix. It's like Spider-Man.
Oh, that's funny.
But then in Spider-Man 2, his webs don't work.
Oh,
and then he has to like get it back.
Right.
And it's like the same. The Millennium Falcon doesn't work in the second movie a lot of times, but then they get it working when they need it.
Yeah.
And I could list like a whole bunch of other movies, like Cocoon 2, when Wilford Brimley can't get it up anymore.
Brimley doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, he's like, I can't get erection anymore.
Yeah.
And they're like, ew, Wilford Brimley.
Wilford, come on.
See, you didn't think we were talking about Cocoon 2. But back to the Wampa scene.
Right.
Besides it, I highly recommend you guys watch this. It's so weird and clunky. It almost comes off like the Star Wars Christmas special.
Yeah.
The way it's like.
Right. Yes.
Well, you ever notice that the Star Wars Christmas special had those cut scenes and they just throw them in there to get people to think there was new Star Wars content?
Right.
Just cut scenes that kind of remind me of that.
I guess, yeah.
But it also I'm glad they cut it out because it makes no sense. Luke gets attacked by this monster in the beginning.
But they just happen to have a bunch of them.
So, they should be like, hey, make sure to always look around because it might be
There's
one of these.
Wampas out there.
There's Wampa. We're in Wampa country.
Because we put them all in a room.
Yeah, we put all the mamas out there. We have all our kids.
Right.
So she might be super pissed. Have fun out there, Luke.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so then they get, I guess they get everybody off as they can.
And then Luke's X-Wing veers off.
It's really weird though, but
left.
I guess they won? I thought they didn't win technically.
Well,
Did they knock down all the AT-ATs?
No, but I think they slowed down the onslaught enough
Luke
to
was
allow
able
people to escape.
To escape even more?
Yeah.
I guess.
I think that was it. They knew they weren't going to beat the Empire coming in. The Empire was going to come in.
They had to get the fuck out.
Right. So they fought them off for as long as they could while people escaped, and then
that's where Luke veers off. And actually, that's another thing in that cutscene with Leia, where Luke is telling Leia he's going to the Dagobah system, and she's getting pissed because it's like, "What are you leaving?"
Yeah.
And it's like it's not a bad dialogue.
Right.
But it's like too much. We can explain this later. Where he's like, "All right, well, I'm going this way, guys.
Yeah.
Catch you on the flip side."
Right.
And then, but I always found bizarre that Luke was able to escape while the Millennium Falcon was getting chased by the Empire throughout the whole movie, but Luke was able to get completely away without Vader sensing Luke.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
I mean, I went left, you went right, and you should have went right.
I guess it makes sense. Physically, Luke theoretically could have outran him. You know, I mean, Vader is still a person. You know, it would be. It makes sense enough.
It's okay. The movie's amazing. It's still perfect.
Right.
It's still my baby.
So Luke goes to Dagobah, but Han and Leia
go to a big worm's anus or something.
Yeah. Well, there's so much going on there. They were in the we'll back up.
Okay, so Luke's heading to Dagobah.
Yep.
The
Millennium Falcon.
And then throughout the whole movie, Darth Vader. The best thing about what I love about Empire 2 is that, like I said, it's like Darth Vader in the first movie. That's why when you watch the prequels and they make Vader and Anakin out to be like space Jesus.
Yes.
And how he's then he becomes like the Antichrist or something in the end, and it's just like this big, like, he was the chosen one.
Right.
But then, like, in episode 4, he's just like some guy who's like,
yeah,
you are a traitor of the Rebel Alliance.
yeah.
And then he's like some old dude's bitch.
Right.
And it's
Yeah.
like, he's not really like this, like,
Yeah.
it's like, if you were a kid, you watched, you know, like, I thought he was like a space
he's
god.
supposed to be tougher,
and
yeah.
like in the fourth one, he's just like fighting an old man,
Right.
with a rod.
It doesn't make much sense.
And I mean, again,
yeah,
problem with prequels,
right,
and movies,
technology and all that. Yeah,
30 years later and pacing and all that. But Empire really is where like Vader becomes the shit.
Oh yeah,
And,
absolutely.
Like, he's like the guy in command now. He's got his own fucking giant Super Star Destroyer.
Yep.
That's like, again, as a kid, I was like, how big is that
Right,
fucking
it just
thing?
looked immense.
I don't even know how big it is. It's like, there's like videos, like you can find it. It's like scales to the planet, and it just gets bigger and bigger. And it's like, I think a Star Destroyer is like 1/3 the size of Manhattan.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
And then I guess Super Star Destroyer is like they're like dwarfed by
Right.
like,
They're
it's
like all 5 boroughs.
Nah, it's more than that.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's like, I don't even know. It gets crazier.
Oh.
And but he's like the worst boss, and you're like, why would anyone work for this guy?
Yeah.
He's like Amy Klobuchar.
Yep.
With the people that work for him.
Yeah.
He's
right.
just choking them. He's making them shave their legs.
Shave my leg.
Get my coffee.
Right.
Have you heard that?
No, Amy Klobuchar.
Yeah,
Yes.
supposedly that like she made somebody shave. That can't be true.
Look,
no
I
way.
heard-
I can't. No.
Okay, I heard
That's like,
that on the TV show Veep, that they had a character that the character made an intern dry shave her legs in the office.
right.
And that was supposedly based on a real life story from Amy Klobuchar.
Amy Klobuchar.
Yeah, so from what I understand, most people have kind of backed off on that, but only to the degree where it's like, look, this isn't anything we want to get sued over, but we'll just leave the story as it is. You know, like, hey,
Right.
we heard it, you know, maybe it's... Yeah, so...
Well, the thing I didn't like about her action figure in the 1980s
Darth
was how,
Klobuchar?
was how like limited her abilities to do, like her scope and what she wanted to do. It was really, I wasn't.
I like the one though that had like a stubble on her legs that retracted when you.
I like the Tom dude.
Yes.
Shaving me.
So like there's a little lever on her ankle, and it was like a little bit of hair,
like a Play-Doh.
Yeah, and then you could like hit the lever and the hair would retract.
Play-Doh kid ever.
Yeah.
Now hit the button and the Play-Doh comes out. Now you gotta shave him.
Yeah.
You got 1 minute and you better not cut him.
Darth Klobuchar. That was a great figure.
It's the best. See, you're like, what the fuck are you guys talking about?
Everything.
I came here to hear you guys just
Insightful
analysis of Empire Strikes Back, and instead you guys are talking about
fucking Amy Klobuchar.
Amy Klobuchar. Well, the joke, like Darth Vader's like, there's a running gag through the whole movie with admirals.
Oh yeah,
the first one's like the first one's a douchebag because he's just like, he's the one who like just straight up is like, he didn't want to invade them.
Right.
He's like, oh, Hoth?
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
Not worth
There's
our
nobody
time.
there. And then he's like, we're going down there. They're
Right.
there.
One of
And
the
then-
probes came back.
And then he chokes him later. He's like, oh, Lord Vader. That guy, and I think I talked about this before, that guy is Hitler. And
you told me about this.
The Last Crusade, Indiana Jones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
He's he's owned by that studio or something.
Right.
Like, what do you do?
The rental.
He's a rental. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
And then there's like another guy who he kills later, chokes in. And then my favorite is like the last one. He's like, you're now the admiral.
Yeah.
And it's just like, this is not a promotion. This is like...
Well, it's like Trump's cabinet.
Yeah, just fucking kill me.
Right.
Like you are now the Secretary of State.
The acting. So, yeah, right.
And it's like...
This
is
time
good.
to polish up my
Here,
resume.
just stab me in the back right... Can you just put this knife in my back now?
Yeah.
And then I'm fine with you keeping it there the whole time.
Yeah. So, okay, so Luke goes his way.
Yep.
And then what do we see next? Do we see the Millennium Falcon go into...
I don't know if they go into... There's like an amazing... Yeah,
It's an asteroid belt.
they go into the asteroid belt, and they're being chased by TIE fighters, and this is like some of the best scenes ever.
It's great, yeah.
It's beautiful. Like when they're going through like the caves and it's flying through. And again, it's like you go from like the first movie and what it took to get there.
Oh, yeah.
And then with like a couple more $1 million and a couple of years of perfecting it, what they were able to pull off.
Yeah.
Now, I'm watching the special edition, but even I remember the original with like the Millennium Falcon flying through the caves, and like it's so smooth, and like, you're just like, how the fuck are they
a lot of
doing that?
To it. Yeah.
It is amazing. And that part when it like does that, like Millennium Falcon does that deep swan dive into the hole.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's shot so good.
Like an
You're
Olympic diver.
Yeah,
or something.
it's beautiful. And you're just like, holy shit, this is amazing. This movie is like beyond anything. Like if Star Wars was like, oh my God, a ship.
Right.
It's moving. You know, it's like a big deal. This is like, okay, we got you. Here we go.
I like, if I remember right, they said something to the effect of the asteroid belt is interfering with their scanners. Because
that's where C-3PO's like, going to one.
Ordinarily, I would say that the Millennium Falcon hiding behind in a rock is the equivalent of like the Duke boys hiding behind a barn.
Well, they do something even better later on.
Okay, true.
They do something that... So the plot is, and we'll get to Luke in a bit.
Sure.
Let's talk about Han and them.
Yeah.
So they go into the cave, and then they're hanging out there for a while, trying to fix the ship again, or whatever. They're just hiding. They're waiting for the fucking... Go away, Empire! Go away! We don't need you!
Few repairs before
and then Leia's sitting there, and one of the best scenes when she's sitting there, she's like, ah!
Yeah,
and I think
it's like a Minoc or something.
I love it. It was like, that noise and everything. That's so good.
Yes.
And they're like, Minocs here. Like, obviously Han knows that, like, what a Minoc is.
Yeah.
And that's not something that should be in a cave.
Right. It's in a digestive system or something.
Yeah, and they're like, this is no cave. And I remember as a kid, and it's so funny, I watch it now, and I'm like, okay, clear. But like that scene when they're like, get in, we gotta go. And then like, they shoot the ground.
Right.
They go out, they're wearing like the mask, they
breathers,
shoot the ground, and then you hear like a rumble, they're like, this is no cave. And they run back in, they fly, you see the teeth closing, and they get out, and I love when that worm thing just comes out and grabs it. And clearly it's a fucking puppet.
Oh, yeah.
But it's so cool. And again, it's all about scale. It's like, how big is this fucking worm?
Right. And just the idea that, like,
that's something like
there's worms that live on asteroids with creatures in them. You know, I mean, it's like just such a cool little
It takes Star Wars into it expands the universe.
Yes.
It takes what you already saw in the first one, which is like, again, it's there, and they could have like just expanded what was there, and they're like, no, we're gonna do something like completely different. It still feels like Star Wars. You're watching it, but it changes everything.
Right.
And then it goes to the scene where like you get introduced to Boba Fett.
Yeah.
And you get introduced to the other guys.
Right.
I talk about this scene.
Right. Bosk.
Zuckus. Dengar.
Yeah.
IG-88. Forlom.
Yep.
All my favorites. They do nothing in the movie.
No, but it was an amazing scene.
It's one of the best scenes in the movie. They're like, bounty hunters, we don't need those scum.
And all you got you just look at that scene, and instantly in your head, as a kid, you've made like 7 different movies.
There's Mummy Man.
Yeah. The Bloody Bandage Guy.
Bloody Bandage Man.
You got Bosk.
Lizard man, and a lizard monkey in a yellow suit.
IG-88, which is like a
coat rack.
Pencil. Yeah, coat rack pencil type of mechanical pencil. And Boba fucking Fett, who's like just amazing. You know, like a character. He's got like a fucking jetpack and a rocket on his arm and stuff.
He's cool.
Yeah.
And then like there's like some little back and forth, and and then you never see any of those guys again.
No.
And that's not good.
It's not good, but like,
I mean, there's like backstories like that they went on like supposedly there was a challenge. And technically, they weren't all working together. That Forlom and Zuckus are a team, and they work together.
Right.
IG-88's his own thing.
Yep.
Boba Fett's clearly his own thing, and I think maybe Dengar and Bosk work together.
Okay, I can see that.
And it was almost like they were being. This was like Vader saying like, "Okay, boys.
Yeah.
I got a job for you. See, it's the Duke boys.
First prize is a Cadillac.
First prize gets the pig."
What is it? What was that? Glenn Ross. Did you see that? Like first prize.
I've only seen clips of like bits of it and like maybe the end.
Yeah, first prize is a Cadillac. Second prize is a set of steak knives. third prize is you're fired.
It's like when I watched Baby's Day Out. Or no, Boss Baby. Boss Baby.
Great
and
one.
he says, classic.
Yes.
Boss Baby. Classic Alec Baldwin performance. And he says, cookies is for closers.
Yeah.
And I didn't link, because I never really seen
Dengar.
that.
And that's amazing.
I thought it was just like a fun little line, like telling that little fat baby, cookies are for closers. And I was like, and it's like, no, they're referencing another Alec Baldwin.
Yeah.
It's such a deep
An Alec Baldwin,
into Alec Baldwin's career.
And Mamet wrote Glengarry Glen Ross, I think.
And I guess he secretly wrote Boss Baby.
Yeah. Oh,
he's just trying to shove his his
I remember the baby Ben Shapiro was
Ben Shapiro. Can you say here?
Slamming his rattle on his high chair. Like,
I'm not gonna have to follow basic pronouns, you see. I'm not gonna follow basic pronouns.
You think it's bedtime? Debate me.
Here's some melatonin. Shut the fuck up.
Like 8 Benadryls, baby Ben Shapiro.
Baby Ben Shapiro. Benadryls. Here's some Benadryl Shapiros.
Ben Shapiro drills.
Wow, that went on attention. Okay, but it's like an amazing scene, but you don't see any of these fucking characters again.
No, that's fine. I mean,
no, it's not fine.
You see Boba Fett again.
Yay.
We're going to
see him a little bit, but
like,
why not have him in it again? It's like I said, it's like a movie years later. And I get it, but everyone gives it a pass because it's so cool.
Yeah.
But it's like, you could look at that and say, this is bad editing. Like, you can, like somebody at the time watching the movies, critiquing it, like they watch movies and they watch Empire. They don't.
Right.
They have no attachment to the Star Wars universe. They don't give a shit. They're just like, I guess I'll watch Empire today. I got to review this, and then I'll go review Splash or whatever came out around that time period.
Well,
and they're like, there's like this scene with all these characters. None of them came back.
It did seem like you're right. Like it would seem like,
but everybody buys 7 different action figure versions of them.
Well, it would have seemed like they maybe cut some of their roles like later on in the film, but they never did. I don't
think. If there was any other footage of Bosk, Dengar, Zuckus, Forlong, IG-88,
absolutely,
Snuddy, Boo Boo Doo, Four Farts, and Snuckus.
Yep. Freddie Boom Boom Washington.
And Snuckus is my favorite. They snuck him in. No one likes Snuckus.
Well, we would have seen that footage.
They would be like, yeah. It would be up there with the Wampa attack. But no, we don't. Okay, so there's that scene, and then it cuts to like, you find out like Han and them are now, and there's like Leia says something like, "This is the most insane thing you ever did."
Yeah.
They're literally parked on the back side of a Star Destroyer.
That's right. Yeah,
it is the fucking funniest thing ever.
It is. Yeah, and that's great. It makes perfect. As a kid, it made perfect sense. Like they wouldn't be scanning.
But that's what made Han awesome too.
Yeah,
it's like Han's like a douchebag in the first one.
Yeah,
Han is awesome in the second one.
Right.
It's like he's not a lovable scumbag. He's still like, obviously he's still a little bit of a scumbag, but it's like he's like a reformed scumbag who knows how to do scumbag things, but do it for the good stuff. Right. You know, it's like, and it's just like, it's so good, that scene. And then he's like, what'd he say? He's like, when they let out the trash.
Yeah.
Which I guess
will just float away.
Which is like, when's they going to do that? I guess they do it every day.
Like, it's an old smuggler's trick, or
it's
something.
Like, it's Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's trash day.
It's recycling. Yeah. No, that was a great scene too. And a great, clever little... It shows you so much about Han.
On some inside Rob Israel baseball.
Okay.
I had a couch that I got thrown out, and I was like, I put it out, and I was hoping the garbage, they would take it.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's like this big item. And like,
right.
They took it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I felt like Han.
Yeah, absolutely. Right.
But then when Han escapes, there's another ship that follows.
Right. The Slave One.
Boba Fett.
Yeah. Yep. And it's a great ominous little scene because you know something's up, but you don't know what's up yet. So
we'll just go to Luke now. The movie cut back and forth between Luke and them. Let's talk about Dagobah.
Yeah.
They escape, and Boba Fett's on the tail.
Yes.
Well, we're just going to jump now back to Luke.
Right. On Dagobah.
Wait, what?
What?
Where did you go?
Dagobah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Like, wait, what happened here?
Wait, am I missing something? Maybe I didn't get the latest edition. No, he goes to Dagobah
They made some real weird edits in the version I saw.
Yeah,
it's all like, well, one, and he's like, you know, they can't see shit. It's all foggy, and they basically crash in a bog.
Yeah.
And then, like...
His X-Wing, like, gets submerged.
And then R2... Well, it starts sinking.
Yeah.
And then, like, R2, like... When he gets, like, eaten by a monster.
Yeah, that is a weird scene.
And
I forgot about that.
spits him out.
Right.
And... It's funny. He's like, it's so gross. He's like, I always love, like, the little noises R2's like...
Yes, right. He's very emotive. Yeah.
He is, for having... Yeah, it's like, you know, people, like, say, like... They feel like R2 is getting the shaft in the new series.
I could see that. Yeah, he was like...
Fucker BB-8. You know, that weird thing with the blow dryer on a wheel.
Yeah.
He's got to be up to no good.
Right, yeah, I would imagine.
I wonder what his sound like.
Yeah. Well, anyway. Waka Waka with Fozzie Bear.
Yeah. Speaking of Muppets.
Oh, yeah. Right. Yeah.
So I remember, like, I knew about Yoda as a kid. I don't know if I heard him yet. I don't think I've seen pictures of him, but I never heard him. I remember going to the theater. So when Luke, you know, and he gets R2 out, and he's got to, like, clean him up or whatever. And isn't there, like, a scene? Is that the scene when, like, R2's like, wah! And like he just barfs.
Yes, like he expels liquid.
It's such an amazing scene, and the noise it makes is so gross too. He's just like a sick cat.
Yeah, well, and like Yoda's wobbling up and like knocking on R2 with his cane.
Yeah, well, that I don't. Is that before they meet Yoda and he barfs? After he gets swallowed and
right.
He's got a bunch of swamp scum and feces and Ghana's blood in his system.
Snake guano.
Yeah, shit. Just say what it is.
Yeah. Well,
snake shit.
Yeah, and Luke gets very kind of defeated, and
he's like, I feel like we're being watched.
Yeah,
and then
right.
I don't mean you no harm.
Right. Well, yeah.
And I was like, as a kid, I was like, why does Yoda sound like Grover?
Yeah, because it's Frank fucking Oz.
Yeah, and when you meet Yoda in the beginning and he's playing dumb on purpose, he's like doing a Grover voice, or he's just being silly, and he's just like,
yeah, he's like trying to steal Luke's food and stuff.
Right. He's like fighting with R2.
Right.
R2 would be like, hey, motherfucker, you know me.
Yeah, sure.
I know you.
Right.
We fought in the Clone Wars together. You were a general. I don't know
R2-D2. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah,
interesting. Excuse me. You say hello to my good friend Chewbacca.
Well, maybe R2-D2 is just like letting it all unfold. Like he knows like Luke needs to learn this lesson. You know.
Not at all. He treats Yoda as a nuisance.
That's true.
He's just like
zaps him.
Yeah. You know, and it's just like, I mean, these two clearly never met.
Yeah.
You know.
That is true. You
know, R2's not like this fucking... Oh, this is the former head of the Jedi Temple and the freaking general of the Clone Wars. This is just some little goblin in a fucking bog that's annoying us right now.
Right.
Ah, yes, mine.
That's funny.
This is really funny. I mean, like, that's why the prequels... It's like they had to have R2 and C-3PO on it.
Yeah.
But it makes no fucking sense.
It doesn't.
When you watch them contextually all throughout them. It's
it
like
doesn't add up.
It doesn't like in the comics. Oh, we'll get to that later. Yeah. Okay, so let's just focus on Yoda. So Yoda, like, and he's like playing Luke.
Yep.
And Luke's like, "I'm here to meet a great warrior. Wars do not make one great."
Right.
Well, clearly they do.
Yeah.
Because you were the general of the fucking Clone Wars.
Right.
So clear, and you were considered great. So you know what, Yoda?
Yeah, that war made you great.
That's like when, like, celebrities are, like, telling people, like, you just be you.
Yeah.
And
you don't need an
have
Oscar.
Yeah, no, but you know that, like, they always say things like, you know, you gotta be nice to everybody and, like, humble and all. It's like, well, motherfucker, you're on top of the hill. Of course, it's easy to say, try to act like you're humble and shit.
Yeah.
Your life is made.
It's different when you're,
when you're living in a bog and you got to deal with a Yoda.
So Yoda brings him in, and you kind of gradually understand that Yoda's more
Yoda
than...
has dementia. He's been living isolated in a bog for like
900 years.
Well, no.
Oh, you're right.
Like 18 years.
Yeah.
He's been sitting and hiding, hanging out with fucking snakes.
Yeah.
And he's still a sentient being with emotions, and he likes to talk, and like he's got nobody. I mean, I guess maybe he's doing some Jedi talking with Obi-Wan. Maybe Qui-Gon visits once in a while.
Yeah.
I don't know. But, so, yeah, he might just be a little demented.
Right.
You know?
But he...
you know, they say old people, if you don't keep them, like, in a well-lit place, they get, like, there's a word for it. It's...
Like, they go torpil or something?
If they have dementia or show signs accelerate.
Right.
It's like sunlight's
going
good for them.
Yeah.
It's like Yoda is suffering from that. He's living in a bog.
It's foggy.
It's foggy. How much sun are you going to get?
Well, so Yoda, it seems quick that you realize Yoda's more than what meets the eye, you know?
Well, I knew Yoda was more than meets the eye because I had the action figure and I read the book and it said that Yoda was a Jedi Master. So marketing ruined that for me.
But you quickly kind of realize, like, oh, Yoda's like this intense Jedi Master. And then he starts...
Well, he gets serious. It's like first he's talking and he's fucking around, but then all of a sudden you hear Obi-Wan.
Right.
He's like, whoa, wasn't I? He's like, he's too old. Right. Too old, child. Or whatever. And then Obi-Wan like kicks in and Luke's like, what the fuck is going on?
It's such a great scene.
And then all of a sudden like Yoda's like Kaiser Soze.
Right.
Like,
straightens up and shit.
And he's just like, it doesn't sound like Grover anymore. Now he sounds like
he's like age-wise.
He's like a business Grover.
Yeah.
A business time Grover.
Right, super Grover.
He's not playing this is near, this is far.
Right.
Or Super Grover. He is straight up business time Grover. And I don't know. No, he says that in the cave with him. Like in his hut where you will be. So that's right. He tricks him into his house first. He follows him to the house, and he's like, "Good food, good food."
Yes.
And Luke eats the food, and he's like,
"It's like a pot of snakes or something."
Yeah, it's disgusting. It's like Yoda's shitting in or something. Like, this is how I teach Jedi.
Yeah,
eat my shit.
Yeah,
shave my legs. Get my coffee.
So
Yoda Char.
Oh, Yoda Char. That's a good one. Amy Yoda Char.
People are like listening. Like, who the fuck is Amy Klobuchar? Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Hopefully, you'll never find out.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, Yoda's training Luke.
Well, that's when they're in the little hut. And Luke's banging his head because he's in a thing that's really meant for like a person
like
who's
a
2 feet tall.
Person, yeah.
Did you ever see the movie? I think it's called The Guru.
Oh, with
starring Mike Myers.
It had one joke. It was like he said Mariska Hargitay's name as a greeting or something.
It's a horrible movie.
Yeah, I never saw it, but I know what movie you're talking about.
Okay, it's garbage, but there's one scene that's so good for all the wrong reasons.
Okay.
Vern Troyer's in it.
Oh, yeah.
And he plays like a manager or something of the hockey player.
Okay.
And he has an office that's built to scale with him. So he's in the office and then they have to squeeze into his office and they're all like crouched in and it looks like they're gigantic.
Right.
They built the set to scale to Vern Troyer.
Oh, jeez.
It's like Yoda's hut.
Nice.
And it's by far amazing.
I'll probably YouTube that clip.
Like, the movie is literally...
I've heard it's terrible.
It's like cow shit without any of the benefits of, like, taking a mushroom.
The fertilizing.
Yeah. A fertilizer or psychedelic.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's like the only thing. And that's what Yoda's house is. I'm sure that inspired it. But like, so then Yoda gets serious.
Yep.
And then he's like, I'm ready to learn or something. I'm not scared. And Yoda's like, you will be.
Right, yeah, it's real ominous.
You will. And they're like, whoa, what the fuck did I just get into?
But then you basically get like a montage from like Rocky.
Yeah.
Where he's like training.
No,
it's
it's not like...
Well, and you hear like...
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun,
Got
dun,
the eye of Jedi.
No, get fly... that's for
Survivor.
Rocky 2.
Rocky 3.
Rocky 3,
Survivor.
yeah.
He couldn't get Queen.
Oh,
he wanted to do like Wheel Rocky or whatever.
Yeah.
And Queen, for some reason, were like, no, we're not going to give it to you or something. Or maybe he didn't pay him. Who knows?
Sure.
So we literally hired a band,
Yep.
Survivor, and they created the song "Eye of the Tiger" literally for Rocky 3.
And that was it.
And that was like the plot of the movie, because the plot of the movie was like, you got the Eye of the Tiger.
Yeah.
You need the Eye of the Tiger. It's the only way you're going to beat Mr. T.
Right.
You need the Eye of the Tiger. And it's like, I don't know, like you got to go kill a tiger and like where it's eye. Like, what are you saying, Apollo?
Really? Is that like an aphrodisiac?
Yeah, what is that? Like, yeah, is it like rhino horn or
rhino
something?
horn?
Good for boner, you know?
Yeah.
Eye of the Tiger.
Yes.
Good for... so... Yeah, there's none of that.
Right.
See, because we're talking about now, like, they cut back and forth. So it feels like it's a montage, but there's a lot of time passing. And it's like every time there's a Yoda scene, then it cuts to a Han and Leia and Chewbacca scene. But we're treating it as two separate things. So
right.
Then Luke
right. So we'll do the
So Luke is training.
Yep.
He's hot. My favorite is Yoda in a backpack.
Yep. Carrying Yoda
in a backpack.
Yep.
It's pretty amazing.
It is pretty cool.
It's kind of silly.
Yeah. They also make a Yoda backpack for kids, which is kind of cute. Yeah.
And he's like doing flips. He's hopping around. He's doing all kinds of crazy shit. And then the best is the cave.
Oh, that's so great. Yeah. You know, I looked up, like, a lot of people say that George Lucas, you know, like a million other people, like Tolkien and J.K. Rowling, he borrowed from that Joseph Campbell's myth, the monomyth. And I always heard this line was attributed to Joseph Campbell, but I don't think it was. But it says, like, in the cave you most fear lies the treasure you most seek. And that's, like, supposed to be the tree scene in Empire. Is you know, that you're going to find the revelation through this.
Well, Yoda's like, you know, going there or whatever, and he's like,
yeah.
What, you know, only what you take in with you.
Right.
He's like, well, originally didn't Yoda say, like, don't take your weapons in there?
I forget.
I think he's, like, basically implying, like, leave your weapons.
Yeah.
You just take in what you... But he brings his weapons because he's super cautious and he's scared.
Yeah.
And...
Well, and then Darth Vader's in there.
Yeah.
And I remember as a kid thinking, like, what the fuck is Vader doing in that
Exactly.
tree? Like,
Surprise, motherfucker!
I didn't see this coming at all. Like,
Exactly. And that's what we call... what is that? Expectations?
Oh, yeah. My expectations have been subverted.
You just
I
expected Ryan Johnson in the background?
Maybe. No, but, like, Vader's there.
Yeah.
And I remember even as a kid, I think I was probably in, like, 5th grade or something, seeing Luke smash the faceplate off of Vader and
Well, he cuts the head off of Vader.
Right, okay, yeah.
And then the face, like, explodes.
That's it, yeah.
The faceplate explodes, and it reveals Luke's face under it.
Yeah.
And Yoda's like, this fucking guy.
Right.
You know, it's like, this guy, this is why you get them when they're 3.
Yeah, right.
You don't train them when they're 9. And you definitely don't train them when they're, like, in their early 20s.
Yeah, right.
They're just fucked at that point. It's like you can't potty train a dog at 6, you know? Yeah.
But it's a great scene, and I remember as a kid being pretty confused. I didn't know if it was really Vader. I didn't know if Vader was a robot and he had like a Luke face under
Luke
him.
Head under the whole time?
I didn't really clearly even identify Luke's face as being that thing.
Yeah, it's a pretty amazing scene.
It is.
And then it cuts to obviously a Han scene after that.
Yep.
But then you go back and then, like, I guess Luke is picking up revelations now that his friends are in danger.
Right.
And he's got to go.
And he can,
And his ship's in the bog.
Yep.
And he tries to pull it out. And then that's the scene when all of a sudden Yoda goes, loo, loo, loo,
yeah.
loo,
so great, right?
There's a ship coming out of the fucking swamp,
and
it's a little guy on a log,
just like
pulling it
willing
out, and he's like, "That's my size."
Yeah.
Look at me. I'm a little guy.
I'm just Yoda.
I'm just a little man on a log.
But and it's the way they shoot it is just magnificent.
And the way it comes out, and the music, it's so good.
Yeah.
And again, nothing in those prequels comes even fucking close to that.
Well, you could even feel the weight of the ship. You know what I mean? Like you could see it groaning up
Yeah.
and water coming
There's a
off
struggle
of it.
to it.
Yeah.
It's like he's pulling it out, and
all
he's
the,
like...
all the
it's like-
ships in the prequels.
And that's how freaking powerful Yoda is, that he
Right.
could do that. And then like, I don't know, the prequels, like...
Well, the
Empress
spacecraft
throw.
have no heft or weight or whatever. But anyway, so Yoda pulls up. And then Luke, despite Yoda's misgivings, Luke can either complete his training with Yoda.
Yeah.
Or...
Well, he also says something like, I heard you do it, or something,
Yeah.
or like, I don't believe... And then Yoda's like, and that's why you failed.
Right.
Dumbass.
Right. Yeah, well, Yoda had so many great lines in that. But Luke decides, I'm going to go save my friends rather than complete my training.
And that's when Obi-Wan shows up.
Right.
And like, hey, I'm back.
Right, and Yoda's like, I've seen this story before.
But he's like, listen to Obi-Wan. Hey,
Right.
you're not going to listen to me.
Yeah.
Look at him. Listen to that guy at least. He's like a parent. Like, hey, listen to
Yeah,
your mom. Your
come
mom
on.
will tell you.
Right.
You know, and the kid's like, I ain't listening to none of you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going.
Yeah.
And that's the scene. He gets in the ship, flies away, but that's the scene where they're like looking up. And I love the lighting of it. As
Yeah.
the ship's flying off with the darkness.
It's great.
And you see Obi-Wan's ghost, but then it fades away, and he goes, "That boy was our last hope." And then and then he's gone.
Right.
Obi-Wan's gone, and Yoda looks and goes, "No,
There's another.
there is another."
Yeah.
You're like, "What?
Right.
What's the other?" And
That's-
then no, then the movie ends.
Well, yeah. No. Cliffhanger. No. But what is the next scene?
Well, we'll just go back to Han and Leia.
But is the
and
next
Chewbacca,
scene
they're-
show you Leia? Like,
Well, no. Again, we're out of order here.
Okay, yeah.
We've already, like, Han and Leia, they escaped. They're already
Right,
heading
right.
towards Cloud. They already were at, like, Cloud City at that
yeah,
point.
going to bed.
They already were there. No, they already were there when Luke already senses danger. Because that's when you
That's
find
right.
out that, like... So, Han's like, we're going to Landos. And she's like, that's a system? You know, it's a guy.
Right.
And he's a piece of shit like me. You're like,
Yeah.
You know, he's like...
Well, it makes perfect sense.
And that's when
So,
you
yeah.
meet. So then they fly in, and again, the special edition or new version. Again, this is why the Empire's the best special edition of them all.
Yeah.
It takes Cloud City, which was just like a couple of matte paintings and very minor, and they tweak the shit out of it, and it looks really good.
Yes.
Even like I'm watching it now, and I'm like, okay, well, obviously, like a lot of the CGI stuff, it looks cartoony. I don't even care. It looks awesome
yeah.
to me. It's like
Who cares?
sci-fi. It looks great.
Mm-hmm.
The city's more expansive now. It's bigger. It feels like an actual city.
Yeah, definitely.
And they fly in, and that's when they meet. They land. Lando comes out.
Yep. And it's very awkward at first.
Well, he's pissed at him.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Oh, you old scoundrel!"
Right.
And
They
like
hug
he looks
each
like he's gonna
other,
punch
yeah.
him, and then he sees Leia. He's like, "Look what we got!"
Right,
here."
yeah, right.
And then Chewbacca, you old fuzzball, or whatever. And then there's Lobot, everyone's favorite Lobot.
Yes.
The half robot.
Right. Which we discussed that in our last episode. I did not know that about Lobot, the half robot, but it makes a lot of sense.
It all makes sense.
Yeah.
That a character that has no lines in the movie for like 30
Right.
seconds has more development and backstory than
Yeah.
like most.
Yeah, most A-list. Yeah, right. So they get to Cloud City, and Han thinks things are cool, but Leia is very skeptical.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
And they've been like, they're on the run from the Empire. They think it's like too easy. And
Right.
like, then they're like basically like in a hotel or
Yeah.
something or whatever. They're like in a nice room, and like Leia's in a different outfit.
Yeah, yeah,
and,
yeah.
like, and she's talking to Han. And do you know, like, there's funny stories about the movie? Like, this is like supposedly a movie where like Carrie Fisher's on the most drugs.
Oh yeah, I
Like,
have
and you
heard this.
could kind of see it in the movies. Supposedly, they're like in that scene, like and I don't know if it's true. Like if
Right.
you watch it, like you could see like Harrison Ford like mouthing her next
Oh, I
lines
did
to
not-
her.
yeah, okay,
Like,
yeah.
okay, this is when you say this,
Right.
Yeah, freaking coke.
Ugh. Well, it is a great scene, and then you see like
Well, Orlando comes in. He's like, "You truly were meant for the clouds." He's like sleazing on
Yeah.
Leia. You know, it's like what I love about Cloud City, and I'm shocked. It's like almost like it almost felt kind of disco a little bit.
it did. It had a very 70s feel to it, almost
Late
like a
70s.
Logan's Run type. Of,
Right,
Yeah.
but disco.
Yeah.
Like, I could almost see a scene before everything, stuff, blah, blah, where they're literally hanging out with Lando, and,
Yeah.
like, they're at, like, a nightclub in Cloud City, and it would be, like, space disco.
Right,
And I'm like, I wonder if they even like, we need another like cantina scene or like and like it would be like boogie down.
Billy D. Williams, yeah.
The Star Wars universe.
Right. Yeah.
Space boogie.
It was kind of a cool thing. It was very different than the other locales.
Well, that's what was so awesome about the original Star Wars movies is that each locale was so different.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like even too with the new movies, it's either like a grassy planet or a snowy planet. It's
well, I think they're going
or
for
a desert planet. There's like at least the prequels had like crazy planets, like all kinds of crazy shit, like a little more imaginative in some aspects. But
I agree.
Cloud City. So then Lando is like, all right, let's go get dinner, and he's like telling him about the mining operation. It's independent, and they're away from the Empire, but not so much.
Yeah, right.
And they open up a door, and they're like, yeah, they got here before you did.
Yeah. Well, there's that great foreshadowing beforehand where you see...
Well, or C-3PO.
C-3PO, he like, something catches his eye.
And the guy's like, hey, you, get over here.
And then, because he must have seen a stormtrooper or something. Yeah. And then Chewbacca finds him, like, dismembered. Yeah. Right? Yeah.
And then, he goes, that best scene is... Well, Chewbacca's... Did he get C-3PO yet at that point? Putting back... Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
He did. So he gets C-3PO, and he's fighting with those little pig men.
Yep.
And I think there might have been some clause in the Star Wars contract that they had to have some kind of...
Like pig creatures?
Just some kind of like dwarf character. Well, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be offensive. It's like Jawa was in the first one.
Sure.
Ugnaughts in the second one.
Yep.
And then you had the ultimate prize, the Ewoks. And it was just like, okay, we got to have little like
work
characters.
Your way out.
And like in the Empire, they didn't have a lot, so they just had little pig men, and they were gross. They were like,
yeah.
Another scene when Chewbacca's like trying to get all the pieces and just throwing shit in the fire.
Yeah,
and he's like, it's like such a funny scene.
Yeah. But then you're right. We get to the unveiling where
so so I guess Chewbacca's carrying him around in a
sack.
I had that toy.
Right.
It came with a sack.
A sack.
I had the C-3PO.
Sack of PO.
And thing again as a kid, the limitations of the Kenner figures.
Mm-hmm.
I remember only thing that was cool about it was just the head, the arms, and the legs came off, and that was it.
Right. Yeah.
It didn't break apart, and I was like watching the movie, and I'm like, he was broken into so many more pieces.
At least 16 pieces.
Yeah, this is 16 pieces. This is bullshit. I felt totally cheated.
Right. Yeah.
Bullshit.
I'm calling bullshit on that too.
Yeah. No, I was serious about like. I remember as a kid watching Empire and being like,
counting,
am I getting
real quick.
I feel like I'm being schemed. Like that arm got broken in 2 pieces.
Yeah.
His torso clearly got broken.
Right. Well. See, Chewbacca's like soldering him back together.
Yep.
But
his head's on backwards. Right. It's really funny.
There's that great scene where they open the door, and you're right. Han looks to.
Lando's like, "Yeah, sorry, they got here before you did," and Han immediately shoots at Darth Vader.
Yep.
Darth Vader uses whatever to block the shot, and he pulls his gun away. And then Boba Fett's there.
Yeah.
And then the door closes, and I guess they had a nice meal together.
Probably not. But you do see. And it was weird because coming after the Darth Vader in the tree scene, I almost thought for like half a second, like maybe this isn't real either. Maybe everyone's seeing visions of Vader. But it wasn't. He was really.
That was actually another movie they were gonna make called Visions of Vader.
Visions of Vader.
Yeah.
Well,
so the thing is, there was supposedly like a radio. They did radio adaptations of Star Wars, and supposedly in the radio adaptation, there is the dinner scene.
Oh, wow. They all sat down to dinner and...
It's not really anything great. It's not like,
right.
What do you think of this city?
What's the first thing you're going to do in Carbonite? What's the first thing?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I like my drinks frozen.
I would love to have seen
my
that.
scoundrels. What? Wait, what?
Well, so they're after that... They show them torturing our heroes, which is terrible.
The whole scene of the dinner is just Darth Vader negging
Leia,
negging Leia with like Alderaan jokes.
Yeah, right. Like
how's your dad?
Right.
Even though he is, I don't think he realizes that.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. What's it like being a princess of nothing?
Yeah.
Alderaan. More like all gone.
That'd have been a good one.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, he was known for being quite the insult comic too.
So they torture Chewbacca in like a noise chamber. Remember? He's in a chamber that like emits.
I thought that was a scene when he was trying to get R2 fixed, and that noise was like happening, and he was getting. He was in the room when he was trying to put R2 C-3PO together, and it was like, and he got the sound to stop. I think we're out of order here. It doesn't matter.
Might be out. Well, anyway,
it doesn't matter. So obviously, the next scene they show Han getting tortured.
Yeah,
and then after that, Lando comes in the room. Han's all like out of it, and he's like, listen, man, you know, Leia and Chewbacca, Darth Vader doesn't. Boba Fett's gonna take you,
right?
They, you know, he really just wants this guy named Luke. I don't know who he is, and they're like, oh no, not Luke. And he's like, I already made a deal. And then like the joke throughout the movie is too, it's like every time Darth Vader shows up, he keeps altering the deal.
Yes.
He's like, this, and Lando's like, this deal sucks.
Right. Yeah.
Like he thought, you know, like listen, he has a city to protect.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, him and Han always had like a weird relationship, right. And then Han shows up and he's like, hey, I just brought a bunch of shit to your door, and the Empire. I kind of brought the Empire to your door too. Yeah. So,
but clearly, Lando is selling Han to be killed. You know, what I mean,
well, he's selling him out to something. You know, he's like he's getting sent off to Jabba.
Yeah,
and it's like okay, he doesn't know who Luke is, so he's like.
What am I?
Whatever. I mean, listen, I'm not defending Lando. Oh, no. Look, the case of Lando. Okay, what are we at? So, talking too much about him. Okay, so Lando, you know, he's like viewed as like a scumbag or whatever, but it's like,
right,
you know, it's like he's got like a whole city full of people, and the Empire's fucking there now. It's like, you know, obviously, it's a simplistic way you could say, he's a piece of shit, but at the same time, you're like,
from a utilitarian standpoint, he is doing the greater good. You know, like sure,
and. I mean, it sucks for Han.
It does.
And then there's the next scene, that awesome carbonite scene.
Yep.
And as a kid, it's like, holy shit. They froze
it's terrifying.
Han.
Yeah.
And of course, there's that great scene when he's about to get frozen and Leia says, I love you. And then Han's like, I know.
I almost think, like, they could have recast that with Paul Rudd. You know, and it would have been really good. Like,
hey, I know. But he smirks.
He smirks.
And then he just goes down, and then, but then he's frozen with that smirk face.
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
And it just would have been like it'd be like almost like remember when MTV Movie Awards would like make their version of and like Andy Dick's in it now or something. Like that's what that just seems like.
Yeah.
They would edit it in.
Yeah. That would have been good.
Yeah, sure.
Well, okay,
so then he comes out and he's like, yeah, he's fine. Then gonk.
Well, because Vader's original plan was
he wanted to freeze Luke, bring him back to the Emperor.
But he's going to test it on Han.
Yeah, and Han dies and whatever.
Cares, right.
Yeah, well, you know, Boba Fett's like, he's no good to me dead, because he's got his own boss to deal with. And then that's it. And then Han gets taken away, and Lando's like, listen, we're going to save him. I know what to do.
Yeah, but that's the last we see of Han.
Well, Han's getting skated off.
Yeah.
And he's being floated, and that thing I tried to do as a kid with the action figure, hold him
awesome.
up. And but Lando was like, "Listen, well, you know," he comes back, he's like, proving that he isn't really a douchebag. Right. And then Chewbacca starts choking him. Chewbacca didn't choke him in that scene. They might have saved Lando.
Yeah.
Because he's choking him for like a... Right. C-3PO's like, listen to him.
Yeah,
You big, dumb, fucking hairy moron.
Right. Well, okay. So,
So they're trying to save Han, but Slave One already flies off. That's the name of Boba Fett's ship.
Yes.
And you see Leia's face. It's really sad. It's
and
again, it's
very
like,
poignant.
They really make... It's like the characters are interesting. They're like in a cartoonish way in the first ones, but in the second one is when they become really fleshed out human beings.
Yeah.
All of them. They all feel like people. They all have like emotions. It's like... It's really rare for a movie like this to have that kind... Like, it's almost like... When people make certain things, like sci-fi or whatever, there's like... Some people just like, nah, this is dumb shit, you know? Make it look like the Batman TV show from the 60s, you know? Like, they just... There's like a mentality to that.
Yeah.
And then there are some other people who create things, and they're like, okay, well, this is just... The sci-fi element is just, like, background.
It is. It's like a vehicle to tell the story.
But the people are the thing, and that's what's lacking in the prequels. The
Yeah.
Empire captures that. There's all the emotions.
Right.
Every scene, everything that happens. It's like when Anakin gets his arm cut off by the old man that he didn't, that he had no interaction with throughout the whole movie. It's like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
It
happened, right.
It only means something because you know he's Anakin and he's going to turn to Darth Vader, and it's like, oh, I see. It's like a little tell, like, you know, that's when Luke gets his hand cut. You know, it's like, it flows, but there's no weight to anything.
Yeah.
Except for the end. That was it. Just like when... and this movie captures all that human emotion. It's like, all that works when Han Gang turned into a popsicle.
Right.
Literally, like... He's turned into like he's literally turned into a Hershey chocolate bar.
Yeah, basically.
And it all works because of that.
Yeah.
It's like,
oh, absolutely.
Chewbacca sells the scene with his. He doesn't even speak English.
No.
You know, C-3PO is like, "What's going on?" It's like the music, the score.
Perfect.
It's like, and it. Even like in the Return of the Jedi, it doesn't capture the magic as much. There's like these scenes, and we'll get to Return later.
Yeah.
Okay. So while that happens, Luke is just landed.
Yeah, he arrives.
And he sees them in the distance, and like they're like, Luke, like,
right,
or whatever, and Luke's like, I gotta go off do my own thing now.
Right.
And that's when he confronts Vader.
Yes.
He just happens to end up in the carbonation chamber room with lighting of that scene.
It's amazing. Yep.
And Luke draws his lightsaber, and Darth Vader is like in the shadows. I mean, you go from this weenie little scene in Star Wars with Darth Vader fighting Obi-Wan in a hallway,
very slow-mo, and
this weenie scene to like a whole nother fucking level.
Oh yeah,
this fight is awesome. I think it's even better than Return of the Jedi.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like
guttural
and like Darth Vader's fucking with him.
Yeah.
He's using one hand. I was like, even as a kid, I'm like watching it. I was like, I noticed that like Vader's so good. He only uses one hand to fucking fight Luke. Luke is pounding him away with two hands on one saber, and Vader's like, fuck him. I'm just gonna toy with you.
Well, it's funny because like Luke is so emotional and undisciplined, and Vader is so emotionless and disciplined.
Right.
It's like a weird mix because you normally equate control and discipline with the good guy, and sloppy rage with the bad guy.
Well, you could also look at it's like almost the same thing. Even in like they kind of pull that off with Count Dooku.
Yes, I agree.
It's almost the same thing where he's like he knows what he's doing, and he's supposed to be the evil Sith, and Anakin is like just
but at the time he's a good guy, but
and he's like full of rage. He comes in, and it's like so the bad guy knows how to use that against him,
right?
So it's like Darth Vader knows how to use it against Luke, but I think he's also underestimating Luke because Luke does get some good shots in this battle. Darth Vader thought he was going to be like a total scrub, and it almost gives you like the illusion again why the prequels don't work versus the new one is does Darth Vader not know who Yoda is? Because he says things like Obi-Wan taught you well, and Luke just doesn't he doesn't bring up yeah, well I was taught by Yoda, and Darth be like, oh, not Yoda, you know, like there's no mention of Yoda. It's like Yoda's this like mysterious hidden thing. He's the man on the hill. He's the man on top of the mountain. You know, it's like he's this like mystical. He's like the true element of the Force. It's like, and
Luke probably never mentioned it, right? Like Luke never said, like I was taught by. I mean, like,
well, he doesn't. Well, one, he's just going straight from Yoda to there, but he doesn't say. You know, he doesn't say anything to Darth Vader, and you're left to the assumption that Vader does not know who Yoda is. That Obi-Wan trained Darth Vader, and he thinks when he says like Obi-Wan trained you well, he thinks that Obi-Wan was the one who trained Luke.
Right.
He has no clue.
That's true.
That Yoda even exists.
Obi-Wan would have trained Luke had he lived past Vader's fight with him. Yeah.
But so I always find that kind of interesting.
Weird,
and even though obviously Anakin knows who fucking Yoda is, he was the old little shit that went to train him when he was a kid. Nerd, too old, get the fuck out of my house.
Right. Well,
and so then of course he knocks him into the carbonation hole.
Yep. Yes.
Sounds like that'd be a great name of a bar.
The
Carbonation hole.
Yeah.
That sounds like a terrible name of a bar.
I'd probably go there anyway. But yes.
And then of course he hits the little doodad button again, using the Force to do it.
Yeah.
Clicks, but then you see Luke fly up, and it's kind of cool because you remember, like, again going back to the prequels, like when everyone was complaining, they're like, everyone was like, especially the fight between Darth Maul when they show like characters jump up real high and do that. But it's like Luke does do that in Empire Strikes Back. That's like you get to see him use the Force and like
propel
do some kind of Superman fly up. I mean, like, and he's like, so he escapes. Obviously, this is where we talked about the two scenes happening. So it gets intercut with his fight scene when Vader's intercut with Han. Leia trying to save Han, or at least now trying to escape, get the fuck out of there.
Right.
And then, so then they go into that next room.
Yeah.
Vader and Luke are fighting, and that's like, it's like kind of that cool room. And that's when Vader starts flinging shit at him. Yeah. And he's not prepared. It's like, and you're just seeing this for the first time too. He's like, you see Yoda lift up a ship, but now you're seeing Vader like,
just it's another level.
And he's like, and then he gets shot through that fucking window, right? Which is awesome. And you see him hanging on. And then again, it cuts to the next scene. Again, we're doing this out of order. And this is my favorite scene of the whole movie. And also gave me fear of having my limbs removed. Yeah, right? You're watching this as a kid, and they're on this, like, little scaffold. And I remember I had them... Do you remember Star Wars also had... Kenner also created a micro playset?
Yeah, right. Like the small... Like a miniature
it was, like, small.
version. Yeah.
Like little metal figures. And I had, I had a couple of them, and I had the one with... Luke, and he did have like a missing, like the micro thing had a missing hand. And I just remember like it was like a whole Cloud City, and it connected, so it was like where Han turns into carbonite. Yeah, and then they would show like they were different sets, and you build up.
I gotta see
and
that.
It was like each scene of Vader's fight with Luke broken down in each playset, ending with the last one with Luke kind of like.
I'll check that out. Yeah,
holding onto a pole. So they're like, I love this like weird little thing in this middle. They must be like in the middle of Cloud City,
right? Like I always imagined it in the under part of Cloud City,
or
like the tentacles of the jellyfish.
This is the center. It's like empty. It's like a big chimney or whatever.
It's probably whatever's propelling it up into the sky. Yeah, but
for some reason there's like this scaffold that just gets thinner. And thinner. It's like, who the fuck is?
Yeah, who did that?
Who designed this? Like, hey, we need to go fix the TV antenna.
Yeah, crawl up the scaffold.
Oh, fuck.
But it's real reminiscent of the scaffold that Han got killed on in Episode 8, right?
They did make it look... in Episode 7.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, 7.
When he confronts Kylo.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not there yet. Who's Kylo? What's that? Han got killed? What is this?
Spoiler alert.
We're not even... I still haven't even got to the point where Luke is fighting Vader, and then Vader's about to tell him something. So they're fighting, and Luke is kind of fucked up already. His face is beaten up. Yes. Like he's like, and then that's the scene when Darth's like, "You are beaten. Mm-hmm. You can't resist." And Luke is like, gets up, and that's when he thinks he's like, "Oh yeah, well I can one hand shit now too." Yeah. And that's when like Darth's like, "No, I don't think so." Right. Whack, and he cuts off his fucking hand.
Yeah, slices his hand off.
And I was, as a kid, I was like,
I had holy shit! No idea that they would have a hero without a hand. You know, like that. Like
a hero without a hand. Right. Sounds like the worst TV show of the '70s.
But I mean,
Jordan,
it just seemed Sunday night. Well, why are they doing that? You know, like now all my action figures aren't realistic.
You're not gonna go home and cut off on my arm. Well, hold on, kid. Don't do that yet.
Yeah, he gets a robot.
Stick around. Well, again, dude, we didn't even get there yet. All the emotional, you just ruined it.
Sure.
But it's like, and again, it's like why the prequels don't work versus like, it's like the performance. And like you could look at it like Luke, or like Mark Hamill overselling it, like, I'll never join you. Yeah. Yeah, it's like I always said, like he looked like Bucky Beaver in that scene for some reason, like the way his face is, like it's like he's just like his front teeth get so big all of a sudden. He's like, but like it's when Darth Vader's like, Obi-Wan's never told you what happened to your father. Yeah, he's like, he told me enough. He told me you killed him.
Right.
And then that's when Darth said, I did kill him.
Yeah.
And they're like, what? No, I'm just kidding. And that's when what does he say?
Well, he says, I always get this wrong, because in my head, it's Luke, I am your father.
Right.
Is that what he literally says?
I don't know. We have it's like the thing where like, the joke with that meme with
Yeah, you call
Neo from the Matrix. So like, what if I told you? And supposedly he never says, "What if I told you?"
There's
in the Matrix?
a phrase for that. You taught me the phrase. Do you, it's like the something effect or the
Mandela effect.
Yeah, right. So look, the gist is he says, "Luke, I'm your dad."
Yeah,
and Luke is like 100% freaked out.
He's like, "No, that's impossible. It can't be true." Then he goes, "No." And then that's when Darth Vader's like, "Search your feelings. You know it to be true." And then join me, and we'll we'll conquer the Emperor or whatever, and take over the galaxy.
Yeah.
And then Luke's just like, with his other hand, because he doesn't have another hand to hold on to. He just kind of gives him like a little like later, like a salute or whatever, like a skipper, and he just falls. And then, of course, if you saw only the special edition from 1997, there's a horrendous scene that thankfully they fixed in 2004 DVD of him going screaming as he falls to, at this point, it's such a good scene too, because it's like Luke's like, I got my hand cut off, I've lost, I'm not going to be able to win.
Right.
And I'm not going to join him. I'm not going to let my powers be exploited to further the Empire, so I'm just going to fucking kill myself. Like, or I'm going to give myself up, like, for the greater good or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's just like, he did. He basically...
And he did. That was his intent. Right.
Yeah. But thanks to, like, a wind current.
Something
or maybe...
That was always a little shady.
Or something.
Yeah.
He was able to guide himself into a hole.
Yep.
And he didn't get splat.
Right.
And then he goes down a super happy fun slide.
Yes.
I always love that scene too, when he's down like the super happy fun slide. And then like he's sitting there and he's got like the hand hiding, but then he's like, and then that thing just falls out. He's like, shit!
Yeah.
And he falls and he's trying to grab onto it, and the thing like almost closes on his only hand now. And I'm always like, I was a kid, I'd be like, ooh, But then he's like dangling now on this pole antenna.
Yeah, like a weather antenna or something.
That's like he's barely hanging on, and like at this point, Lando has joined Leia,
the crew.
And he they're like, Leia's like, no, we gotta go back, and Lando's like, what, you fucking nuts? He's like, no, we gotta go back now, and I don't know, Chewbacca's like, and I was like, fine, I'll go back, and then that's when they get Luke.
They get Luke in this kind of like
it's a really awesome scene too, when Lando kind of goes up.
Yeah,
brings a fish hook or something for some reason. So I guess he's gonna.
Well, and then correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the next thing you see is Luke recovering.
No, well, the next scene is him trying to escape, and this is where Vader's talking to him now through the magic of the Force.
The Force.
And, well, now at this point too, Leia was called on by the Force from Luke.
Yeah.
So she sensed something.
Right.
So that leads to like, well, what's up with Leia?
She's the other.
Maybe.
That Yoda was. Well, that was my theory at the time. It's like, oh, that's clearly the other for some reason.
Little known fact: when you kiss a Jedi, midichlorians get in there.
Cooties.
It's like an STD, space TD. So no, it's revealed later. We'll save that for Return of Jedi.
Sure.
Big spoilers, guys. Yeah. Big spoilers. I don't want to ruin it. So yeah, then like Luke's like, no, I'm not gonna or whatever. And then they just fly away, and Vader's kind of sad.
Yeah,
you can tell he's kind of sad.
He's a little bummed.
He's like,
that always works.
Sweet guy.
It's my best effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cut off. I tell him I cut off his hand, and then I tell him I'm his dad.
Yeah.
What's his fucking problem?
Right.
I tried killing him. I threw him out of a window. I threw a bunch of freaking 1-ton boulders at him. Yeah. I tell him everything he thought was right and wrong in the galaxy, and I said, "No, buddy, I'm your dad.
Right.
I'm the devil, and the devil just told you that he's your father." Mm. You ever seen Pee Wee Eatstra, the devil's son-in-law? No, it's just like that. You don't know Dolomite?
Yeah, I remember Dolomite.
Yeah, Pee Wee Eatstra, the son. It's not the same. I don't even know why I brought it up. It's just like, I guess I brought the devil thing. But it is. It's like, and that's like the little we talk about. It's like the beginning of the movie. Like Luke is like, he's like scouting along. He's like happy. He's like on an adventure, and then all of a sudden this monster comes and smacks him in the face, and he's like, "No, buddy, this is a dangerous ass galaxy. There's fucking snow monsters everywhere.
Right.
You're like this space slugs the size of Star Destroyers.
You can't just be like wandering around.
Yeah, on my tauntaun, hanging around, throwing snowballs, and then and then you learn the Force, and then you do this, and then you end up confronting the devil, and you find out the devil's your daddy.
Well, yeah, I mean, in a nutshell, yeah.
Space devil.
Well, it's weird. Like, the movie begins, and this is real weird. At the time, it was super weird for me. The movie begins with the heroes on the run, and it kind of ends with the heroes on the run.
Right.
They're on the run the whole time.
It's a downer of an ending.
It really is.
For, like, a movie, like, at that time period, and, like, what people expected. I mean, you get New Hope. It's like a beginning, middle, and end. It's a complete story. It's like the journey. And it ends with them getting medals. Chewbacca. Fuck Chewbacca. Chewbacca
Right.
gets some medals. He's not human.
Yeah.
He's a space He's a space dog.
But they end in a very roughed up state. You don't know where Han Solo is.
Well, Luke. So they're in that like I was saying, that sick ship, and I kind of was able to figure out the scale that as a kid.
You can see them in the window,
Because, you see them, which is kind of cool too. It's a big ass ship, but it's not crazy big like a Star Destroyer.
No.
Where you're just like, what the fuck? Oh,
it's like a big ship.
I guess you could put them to scale at that point, because you did see the Millennium Falcon on the end of it, so you get an idea.
Yeah, you could probably do the math.
How big this is, right?
If you had a big enough cocktail napkin, you could do that.
At least 6 cocktail napkins. So that's the scene when, like, things like, there's a little hope. Luke's smiling. Yeah. He's got a new robot hand. That thing's like poking him with needles.
They're testing it. Yeah,
he's like, ow. All right, close that cap. Don't anyone see that.
Right.
You fucking
Why would they make it receptive to pain? I would want, like...
Well, I mean, think about it. You got this thing on you that, like, you have no feeling. I mean, like, the hardest thing of... people who you want to have nerves. You want to be able to like sense that there's something there, or you're, they say like phantom limb and all that. Like somebody who's had carpal tunnel. Yeah. Not myself. You don't want that. Right. It's awful. Fair enough. I'm not missing a hand, but let me tell you, because I came damn close to it. Sure. Nerve damage ain't fun. No. So, yeah, and then they're looking off into space. Yeah. And Luke puts his arm around Leia. You see the droids. Oh, and then you see Chewbacca and Lando's wearing, like, Han's outfit. Yeah, it's real weird. Well, we talked about this. Yep. Well, it's just funny because it's his ship. And then remember when in Solo you see, like, that he had, like, a whole closet full of, like, different outfits. So clearly Han dipped into his fucking wardrobe a little bit. Sense. I know, it's just so funny. He's like, yep, got the guy frozen carbonite. Right. And now I've got his ship. Got my ship back. And I'm wearing his outfit. And I'm going to... Yeah, right? I'm going to Lando his girl. Land this plane. So, you know the story, though, right? About the frozen carbonite thing? I guess, like, Harrison Ford was not up for the third movie. Yeah. Well, there was no guarantee. He wanted to die in the third one.
They kept having to account for the fact that maybe Harrison Ford wouldn't show up for the next movie.
So you just freeze him, and you kind of already got a new land, and you got a new Han.
Yeah, you have an ending with Han if you want it. And if you don't, then you can unfreeze him. But it was a pretty clever solution to a weird problem. Yeah. And, but, they're like, we're going to go get that bounty hunter. Mm-hmm. So it was like, but man, you're like, you got to wait 3 fucking years for the Return of the Jedi. Well, and we didn't even know that at the time. We were just kind of hoping it would come out in 3 years.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And I mean, it was an excruciating wait because it ended...
It ends on a cliffhanger. Yeah. And I know, like, The Force Awakens tries doing that with like, the hand lightsaber. But, like, that's not... We'll get into that when we talk about Force Awakens. We're not there yet. I don't even know. What is The Force Awakens? What is that?
What do you mean?
I'm just kidding. Oh. Like, what is that?
What is it?
And I didn't even know about... I heard they're making a movie called Revenge of the Jedi.
Well, yeah, it ends on such a downer. And it's real poignant and kind of sad.
But it's still... There's hope.
Oh, yeah. Well, look. They escaped, most of them. They're kind of back together. You have a new hero. They're living to fight another day. So, yeah, you're right. It's more hopeful than unhopeful.
But they're not getting medals.
Right.
They're not having a big ceremony.
Nope.
They're on the run.
Luke's not playing piano anytime soon. So...
I mean, that hand looks pretty good.
And Han is frozen, and you don't know where Yoda is. You assume back on Dagobah.
He's just doing his Yoda thing.
Yep. And you don't really clearly understand who the other is. Like when Yoda said there is another.
If you remember that.
Right.
It's like one of those things like you have to watch it a couple times.
It's more significant later. But yeah. But that's it. That's the movie.
Yeah.
It's a great one.
It's the best It's the reason why we talk about Star Wars today.
It really is.
It really is. It's like, if Star Wars would not be what it is today.
No, and that's the thing. It's like
Lucas would not be getting $4 billion.
Star Wars. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying he would not have gotten $4 billion from Disney.
Yeah.
If Empire Strikes Back sucked, and that was it.
Well, Star Wars was so good, but Empire made Star Wars better. You know what I mean?
Well, Star Wars was a movie.
Yep.
And Empire turned it into a fucking whole entire...
a franchise.
A literal, like... Well, I mean, you could say Star Wars. Regardless, like, Empire, like, took that world and just, like, blew it up. And, like, expanded it and, like, you cared so much about those characters and, like...
And it guaranteed a third movie because it ended on a cliffhanger.
Yep.
You knew it was pretty popular. You kind of knew it was going to be popular going into it.
Yep.
So you walked out of that theater
But
like pretty sure there's going to be a sequel.
I don't think it didn't do it nearly as well as the first one. Financially,
I could see that.
It did not make anywhere close to the amount that... I think it did well, but I don't think it made... If you look at the box office numbers, I think it might even just made half. I mean, Star Wars was crazy. Star Wars was in the theater non-stop.
It was.
I mean, there was nothing like that at the time. I think by the time Empire comes out, you're already starting to see a lot of different movies, like Aliens out. Temple of Doom Raiders of the Lost Ark comes out the next year.
Oh, yeah.
You start, Harrison Ford's career blows up too.
Crazy.
After Empire. Like, he's in Blade Runner, he's in that.
Regarding Henry, The Witness.
That's later on.
Okay,
I was going to say Gummo, but I'm pretty sure Harrison Ford wasn't in Gummo.
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah.
So yeah, watch Empire Strikes Back.
Absolutely, really. Look, you can watch it alone, even though it's so dependent on the first and the third ones. You can watch this alone. It's.
I think it does a good enough job though to introduce you to the characters.
It's character driven,
but like it's good to know who they are before you go into it and to have a sense of Star Wars and everything. I mean, they do tie back.
No, you're right. You're right.
But overall, it works independently as a movie too by itself. And that is the most important thing about movies and I feel like movies and comics today, they don't do that anymore. It's like, I think we talked about the Scorsese thing and stuff.
Right.
But it's like, he was trying to imply that like a lot of these movies, like, it's like, they're not really movies. They're just like, it's like a TV show or a serial. I have to watch like the next one to get a real complete story. And I think he's wrong on that, but I could see where he's right. Like Empire, when they make the movie, it's still a movie by itself. That's true. Yes. Does it end on a downer? Does it need another movie to follow up? Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
But in a good way, not in a way that you don't have a sense of the story. Mm-hmm. Not like another Star Wars movie that we'll talk about.
Sure. Yes. That
it just ends on something, and you're just like, what? Yeah. Like that works on a TV show.
Right. It does. Yeah.
Like see you next week. This movie, and it still has a beginning, middle, and end.
It does. It does. It has an arc. Absolutely.
And there's a journey, and it lands, and there's hope in the end, and there's another one.
Right. Well, most of the things that are introduced in this as conflicts are resolved, or at least better identified for resolution soon to come.
Right.
I mean, it does its job in taking characters through an arc. And it does a good job in progressing the story.
Luke goes through a real journey in this one.
Yeah, he becomes a changed character in a good way.
Like in the first one, it's like he's the whiny brat, and he goes through the motions, and he does that. But in this one is really where he becomes there really is an actual journey.
Oh yeah,
an arc.
Yeah.
Did you see? I'll end this. But did you see that deep fake video someone made making fun of the new trailer?
Oh no, I'll have to.
Oh my god. This is deep fake that someone made of Lucas talking. Okay. It's a guy doing an impression, but they did deep fake where it's Lucas' face clearly on somebody, and he's just sitting there. It's a reaction to the new trailer.
Oh, I'll have to.
And it's so good. He's like, it begins with Ray, and he's like, oh, Ray, everyone's favorite, she's been through so much. Let's see, by the second movie, I chopped off my main character's hand and I put my other guy in carbonite. But who needs a story arc these days anymore? Everyone loves Ray. And then he just rips apart and the best is he's watching that scene with ice. He's like, you know what this scene is here? A Gungan. I do that. I put that in there just to piss you guys off. I put a Gungan in this scene.
I'll check that out for sure.
It's really funny, and the guy who does the voice,
spot on.
I mean, kind of
in a character.
when you see that deep fake stuff's getting scary.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I knew it wasn't him, but it's creepy as fuck.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Actually, this whole episode was a deep fake.
And that's a crazy place, man.
Yep.
All right. Well,
I don't know what we're gonna talk about next.
Yeah. Well, we might do something different next. We will eventually finish up with the Star Wars.
Yep. We're gonna do Return of the Jedi. Yep. We will talk about Force Awakens.
Yep.
We will talk about The Last Jedi.
Well,
and then we will review.
Yes.
Or talk about
the new one,
the rise
of Skywalker.
Of the Skywalker.
Yeah.
Which I'm just like, what the fuck is that?
Right. I wonder if the Skywalker is like the new Jedi Order. Like they now call them Skywalkers.
Who knows?
That's true.
Rey could just be like, I may not have been born a Skywalker, and I don't know why I sound like this.
She'll adopt the name.
But I am now Rey Skywalker.
Yeah.
I don't know what fucking music they use. She's Rey. She's Rey. She's Rey. She's Rey. She's Rey.
Yeah. I doubt it.
No, I don't think they'll do that. They're like, yeah, we couldn't get what's the composer's name?
John Williams.
Yeah, they lose him, so they had to get the person who came up with that.
They'll hire Kenny G.
Wants to be just like a nut. Come on, wait. Mounds does has nuts. Mounds don't.
Almond Joy has
nuts. Mounds don't. They get that person to score it, and it just sounds like commercial jingles. That'd be pretty fun.
Work.
Do you think Empire Strikes Back with commercial jingles would have the same emotional impact?
I do. I really do.
You did?
It's that good.
Yoda's pulling out a X-Wing out of the swamp.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe not, but...
All right, I'm Rob Israel.
I'm Joseph K.
Are you still going on about
that?
Thank you for listening to You Still Going On About That. Please like, comment, share, and if you haven't done already, please follow us on Instagram, YSGoat, Facebook, YSGoat, and Twitter, YSGoat. Thank you, and have a great day.